action, though, had provoked debate about privacy, ethics, and legality, even though an Uber spokesperson said the practice is not against the law in Missouri. Nonetheless, Uber and Lyft both suspended him after the Post-Dispatch first reported the story. A statement by Lyft said, "The safety and comfort of the Lyft community is our top priority, and we have deactivated this driver." Gargak's live stream channel was also removed from Twitch. Twitch said in a statement to UPI, "In terms of this particular person, we do not comment on terms of service violations in regard to specific individuals." Before his channel was taken down, Gargak had earned about $3,500 from Twitch users since March. He also said he primarily used the streams, which were archived on his channel for 60 days for security reasons. He emphasized that he added a 4-inch square sticker on the rear passenger window that read, "Notice, for security, this vehicle is equipped with audio and visual recording devices. Consent given by entering vehicle." Passengers contacted by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said they did not see the sticker. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the family of an Australian woman shot dead by Minneapolis police last year after calling to report a suspected crime near her home sued the city and several officers on Monday, saying they violated her civil rights. The fatal July 2017 shooting of 40-year-old life coach Justine Ruzick-Damond sparked international outrage amid a wave of U.S. police shootings that fueled a debate over the use of force by law enforcement. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor was charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter for shooting Damond through the door of his patrol car as she approached him after calling police to say she thought she heard a woman being raped. Noor was fired the day the charges were filed and is free on $400,000 bail. The civil suit, filed in federal district court in Minnesota, names Noor and his partner Matthew Harity and accuses them of conspiring to conceal the facts around the shooting and failing to record the incident on their body cameras. The suit also referenced their ages. Noor was 32, Harity was 25, and called them inexperienced officers who appear by their conduct unfit for duty. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Retail giant CVS is gearing up for floods of customers seeking the perfect meaningless piece of crap for their office gift swap. The company is making no secret that when it comes to wasting the obligatory $20 on a useless electronic dartboard or pretzel maker for someone you couldn't care less about, CVS is your best option.
Our incredible selection of worthless shit is just the thing that nobody wants. We guarantee you'll find nothing personal or unique in our store.
The company is offering massive discounts on otherwise unsellable items for holiday parties you don't even want to go to, like the $12 decorative lantern, which is expected to be a big hit with customers who grab the first thing they see when they walk in the store.
I really wanted to get something that said, I don't care about any of you people and I didn't put any effort into this.
CVS also has Hanukkah gifts for coworkers who you think might be Jewish, like candles and those little plastic net bags full of chocolate money.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is lrn.fm. We've got also Discord. The Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you at discord.lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
So coming up here tonight, Johnson, you've got a couple interesting stories for us, including one about copyright, and I definitely want to talk about that. Also on the way, a 14-year-old has been initiating traffic stops as though he were a police officer. Mark, you've got that story. And I got to say, I watched the new Who is America, the new Sacha Baron Cohen episode from this week last night, and yet another amazing show. For those of you who have seen the Ali G show, which was like almost 2 decades ago now, I think that was a new thing. He's back with more. So he was Borat. He was Bruno, this fake fashion designer. And he's now up to 5 different characters in this latest episode. He started the first episode was last week. So for those that don't know, Sacha Baron Cohen, he sort of disguises himself. He meets up with celebrities and kind of big name politicians. For instance, Dick Cheney was one of his victims in this one, which was particularly sick and entertaining all at the same time, because Dick Cheney is a sick man. But anyway, so he met up with Dick Cheney, and so the idea is he acts as though he's one of these characters and gets people to either do ridiculous things or to put up with him doing ridiculous things. It tends to be how the show works.
It's not that I'm going to claim that Sacha Baron Cohen isn't a brilliant comedian and that he shouldn't be able to express his opinion, or that any of these people are victims or whatever. I'm not going to claim any of that stuff. I will, however, say that his sort of humor makes me cringe. I mean, I just can't.
What part
watch
about it is it? Is it the fact, is it when he puts somebody in an awkward position and he does something weird in front of them, or is it when he's asking, them questions that makes them look ridiculous? Because there seems to be the 2 different ways he runs that.
I think it's oversensitivity for the how the person on the other end, the receiving end, feels.
You're empathizing with his victim, even though they are, in a lot of cases, scum of the earth, like Dick Cheney.
Well, I haven't seen what you're talking about, so I can't claim to feel that way about Dick Cheney in that circumstance.
He's a murderer.
Who's he killed?
Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people at his command, basically.
Claiming that he's, as the vice president, was in some way responsible. I mean, George Bush, in fact, was the one responsible. Vice president has very little power, but I understand.
Wasn't Cheney involved in developing their torture program? That comes up in the interview.
That would be only whatever. Yeah. I can't speak to that. What I can say is that I have watched his stuff where he's going around making fun of bros and RVs and wearing really ridiculous swimwear at the beach and that sort of thing. I mean, I've seen all that stuff, and it's good comedy. It's just hard for me to watch that stuff.
No doubt.
If he makes fun of himself, I'm good with that. But it's when he's making fun of the other person.
No, I don't think he makes fun of himself.
I mean, also, isn't Dick Cheney kind of partially responsible for killing people as part of the private sector as well as one of the, major board members of Halliburton?
Yeah, he was on Halliburton.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
right.
Just adding that in there too.
So let me flash back. We'll flash back to last week, because there's the part about last week's show which I wanted to talk about, which we haven't gotten a chance, which is when people get busted by Sacha Cohen. Well, unlike, let's say, 2 decades ago when he first did his show, now it's much easier for the average person to reach the internet, right? Like, the internet was with us in the year 2000, but the average person didn't have a Twitter account. That didn't exist. They didn't have a blog of their own. That didn't exist.
Right.
The average person or the average celebrity.
Your social media account was your email.
Yeah. The average celebrity, if they had a website, sure as hell wasn't posting on it themselves, and many of them didn't. So now his victims can kind of come out with their story, which can sound even more ridiculous when they try to make excuses for the things that they did. So we'll tell you more about that. But first, let's go to Milton. He's in New York. Milton, you're on Free Talk Live, listening via the TuneIn app.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
So I just graduated from high school about a month ago, and I was wondering, how do we get more millennials to realize that gun control doesn't work? Because when I was in high school, because I was still in high school when they had the walkouts, and I didn't participate in the walkouts because I'm a libertarian, obviously, and
you're talking about the ones from earlier this year, those walkouts.
Yeah, the ones from earlier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I'm property rights and the Second Amendment and libertarianism and everything.
How much of your class did participate? Like, what percentage went out? What percentage didn't?
Well, I was in a classroom, so I wasn't able. I think a decent amount, because part of the reason it happened was because a lot of students requested that it happen. Some students didn't go out simply because they just didn't care.
Right.
But But I
some students probably went out just to get out of class too, so it's really hard to judge. The actual participation of I am in agreement 100% with gun control. Right? It's hard to know without actually asking them.
I wonder what the reaction of the average.
I did ask some of them, and a lot of them. Well, first of all, this is actually before classes. This is typically when they have announcements and whatnot. And I asked a lot of them afterwards, and the majority of them were for gun restrictions.
I wonder how the average, millennial who's against gun or who's against gun control, or for gun control, I should say, against gun freedom, would react if you said to them, "Well, I guess gun control works great. I mean, it worked great for Hitler. Why wouldn't it work great for Trump?"
Yeah, exactly.
I think the best thing to say is that for me, I would point out that to some extent the gun movement is just a protest against Trump, right? I mean, the same laws existed under Obama, and nobody was walking out of school. The school shootings were occurring under Obama, and nobody was walking out of school. So the issue here tends to be sort of an anti-Trump thing. And look, I'm not pro-Trump, but what my concern about...
Neither am I.
Right. I know you're not. I'm role-playing you. So what my concern here is that this isn't about gun control. This isn't about getting guns out of the hands of people that are going to commit crimes. This is about getting guns out of the hands of civilians. And what we've seen historically is that when the government is the only organization that has access to guns, things go kind of badly. Would you want to see an America where only the police had guns? What do you think that would be like? And questions are always the best way to end your sort of your diatribe. That way you have them, they have to respond to what you've said. Yeah.
Milton, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. If you want to join us, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
The important thing is to mention Trump and then point out, Trump is the government, and then point out that what you want to do is you want to take guns away from the people who disagree with the government, ultimately. You're a civilian. Trump wants to disarm you. I wonder why.
Let's talk to Meatbag, calling from Utah, listening online. Hello, Meatbag.
Hey, me, Meatbag McMurkin, Pirate Party candidate for governor in Utah. And I know it's been a while since I've talked to you guys, but I want to propose to you a plan to sort of save the world.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay.
I'd love to hear a plan to save the world.
So I've been reading a lot of the science as of lately, and apparently carbon dioxide is really dangerous. Apparently it's killing our planet. So I propose to ban all sodas because they're full of carbon dioxide. Okay?
Is carbonation carbon dioxide, Johnson?
No, I know.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on, Meatbag. Banning all sodas to save the earth. The toll-free number here, well, at the very least it would maybe help people lose a little bit of weight, but it's not particularly libertarian to ban anything. So we'll see what Meatbag has to say here. He says he's in the Pirate Party in Utah, which the Pirate Party is kind of an interesting subject on its own volition. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com. If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number here, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM with you. In the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We can continue taking your calls about whatever's on your mind. But I also want to make sure that you know about Bitcoin.com. If you are new to cryptocurrency, well, and you haven't been paying attention, these last few weeks have been very good for Bitcoin. It's gone up, I think, like 25% in the last month. I think it's 10% or so in the last week, maybe more at this point. So it seems to be back on the rise, although, you know, nothing lasts forever. You never know how long this one's going to go.
Sure don't.
But the last time it was on the rise, big time, it went all the way up to $19,000 per Bitcoin, which was basically its record high. So how long before it gets back to that point? Well, who knows? But you can go to Bitcoin.com to get the latest information. They've got a great news site there and plenty of useful tools. Plus, Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Now that SaveItPurse.com is accepting Bitcoin Cash for deposit into accounts. I was just saying last night that I'd recently gotten 20% off some toner cartridges because I was in kind of a rush. I wanted to get them quickly. You can get huge discounts on pretty much anything you want to buy through Amazon through SaveItPurse.com, and now you can do it with Bitcoin Cash, which is awesome, and it works well. And I mentioned yesterday I had one thing that I'd put up there like 3 weeks ago for 33% off, and nobody had taken a bite on it. But somebody snatched it up last night. So I got 33% off one of those mosquito trap things that you've got, Mark. Those big old.
It's awesome.
It's got a fan and it just kind of sucks the mosquitoes down into a trap, basically.
It's just constantly working, and we don't deal with. It takes a while for it to sort of ramp up, but we don't really deal with the bug problem that we used to.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Again, 33% off because I used cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin Cash, over at saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com. Meatbag is with us in Utah. Member of the Pirate Party. You say you're running for, what was it out there in Utah? Do you have Meatbag? Meatbag.
Yeah, governor.
Okay, there you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you said
Okay.
What were you running for under the Pirate Party banner?
I'm running for governor.
Governor, excellent.
Yeah, governor.
Now,
yeah.
So your proposal was what? Can you lay that out for us again?
Yeah, so my proposal is to abolish all carbon dioxide emissions. And the way that I first want to do it is by banning all sodas, eventually getting into all carbonated beverages, so like beers and stuff like that, getting rid of all those. And what I want to is the government will be installing ventilators respirators on your face, so that they can monitor how much you are emitting for carbon dioxide and basically tax you per breath. I'm thinking like 1 cent per breath is probably a good amount, because you can't go less than 1 cent, right?
Well, you could.
And so,
you could just tell people it's free to inhale. I think that should be your campaign platform.
So basically, you want to destroy the Earth
by it's free to inhale.
So essentially, you want to destroy the Earth by getting rid of one of the most basic elements.
We've got to get rid of, we've got to get rid of all the carbon dioxide. And so the way that I propose doing it is by installing gigantic refrigerators on the Earth and dissipating the heat up into space. And so that'll cool the Earth down to about 110 degrees below zero. That'll actually cause the carbon dioxide to solidify and come down to the Earth. And then we can create government programs to suck all that carbon dioxide up, just basically scrape it off the Earth, and ship it out into space, and it'll be carbon dioxide free.
So now, I don't know, I'm not intimately familiar enough with the Pirate Party platform, but I don't know, does this actually run contrary to their platform? Do they address climate issues with the Pirate Party? Because the Pirate Party, for those that don't know, is founded in, I think it was Sweden. Rick Falkvinge, who is an anarchist, has been on our show before. We actually interviewed him at Acapulco in 2017. And the Pirate Party had a major influence in the Icelandic elections recently, as well as in Sweden, where they've started. They've really come out swinging. They've gotten people elected, which is a surprise for a brand new political party. They've really done an amazing job. But the main issue has been information freedom. Is what has driven the Pirate Party. So are you straying from the official Pirate Party platform? Do you have the backing of the Utah Pirate Party? Is the Utah Pirate Party more than just you?
Well, the Utah Pirate Party is loosely affiliated with the Pirate Party that everybody is aware of. But we are much more extremist, environmentalist of a persuasion. Like we really want to save the Earth by freezing it to 120 below zero. So we really have to get rid of this carbon dioxide because it's killing us.
I think it's great trolling, and I appreciate it. I don't know, I hope you get some kind of attention for this during your political campaign, although I suspect the media will ignore you. But let us know how it goes, Meatbag, and thanks for the call tonight.
I think you should take first off, I really just want to talk about Rick Falkvinge's last name because I find it mesmerizing. Falkvinge. It means falconeer in
Is that right?
I don't know, one of them Viking languages.
Like a man with a falcon, you can command it, that kind of thing?
He's the king's guy with a falcon.
Yeah.
That's
sweet.
Falkvinge.
Everybody loves those guys.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't like falconeers? Indeed. I mean, falconeers have good branding.
Right.
And secondly, I'd say that here's an idea for you. Just go ahead and you destroy welfare, but give all the free people, instead of ponies like Vermin Supreme wants to give them, you give them all those bicycles, those like taxi cab bicycles. What do they call those? Pedicabs?
You mean like they got in Austin?
Yeah.
Where you can
Well, they've got
in
in
New
lots
York.
of places. Yeah.
pretty much everywhere.
I've never seen them in
any
New York
major
City.
cities. Yeah, they're all over the place in New York City.
So, basically a bicycle with a couple of seats on the back, and now people can earn money.
Yeah.
You've given them a business right off the bat, and you take care of America's obesity problem at the same time.
They were all over Austin. I've never seen that in New York City.
Go near Central Park in New York
City. Oh, really?
City.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been there. So, toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Here's a story that I wanted to share about the first really just absolutely shocking scene in Who is America, which is the Sacha Baron Cohen documentary series airing.
I keep thinking of that Childish Gambino song, that This Is America.
Not familiar with it. Maybe if I heard it.
Yeah, it was really popular recently because it's actually a lot about gun stuff.
Jess Joho reporting over at Mashable.com. Who among us hasn't tried to save face during an embarrassing situation with a classic "I actually meant to leave my fly down" excuse? That's essentially the defense strategy of one of the unsuspecting participants in Sacha Baron Cohen's latest mockumentary satire, Who is America? Viewers of the recently premiered Showtime series will recognize Virginia Citizens Defense League president Phillip Van Cleve as the gun rights hero in the show's Kindergardians training video. In the disturbing segment, Cleve can be seen alongside an in-character Cohen teaching toddlers how to use puppy pistols and gunny rabbits to, quote, make bad guys go to sleep, unquote. But in a recently resurfaced Facebook post written by Cleve 5 months ago, he claims to have been in on the joke the whole time and hopes his story will save others from being tricked. It's unlikely to be a backdated post, as the comments are also 5 months old. Cleve describes his slow realization during the interview that he was likely in a, quote, Sacha Baron Cohen-esque Borat type of shock comedy meant to be devastatingly embarrassing and humiliating to the victim in the crosshairs, unquote. So why did he go forward with participating in the mock training video anyway? His logic is hard to follow, but a wild journey nonetheless. We'll explain to you his excuse for basically going along with the idea that 3-year-olds should be able to bear arms. It's Free Talk Live.
Hi, I'm Patrick Colbeck, and I'm running for governor. Michigan auto insurance rates are almost twice the national average. We need to lower costs, but at the same time, we need to protect the lifetime benefits for those who are injured. Using my engineering problem-solving know-how, I have found a way to lower costs by a minimum of 40% while still retaining lifetime benefits. Do you realize that 58% of my own insurance premium is due to state mandates? If we eliminate those mandates, our insurance rates can be lowered to near the national average. Principal Solutions prioritize your best interests, not lobbyists. Paid for by Patrick Colbeck for governor.
This is Jessica Armand, founder of My Magic Mud. Our team helped organize a successful effort to remove fluoride from our city's water supply. This is our passion. My Magic Mud Oral Care purifies and brightens your smile naturally. GCN listeners, please support my family business by purchasing our products from your local health food store. We're also available at CVS Pharmacy, or visit us at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off now with coupon code GCN10.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll free. Join us here on the radio. Our number 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is LRN.FM, and in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Yeah, and Johnson.
And Mark.
So I want you to know about Acapulco. It's coming back in 2019. It was great this year, Mark. You and I had the chance to go again. We were there the year prior to that, and it just keeps getting bigger, and in fact is already the biggest liberty event on the planet. It's the largest gathering of freethinkers, voluntarists, libertarians, anarcho-capitalists. It happens in Acapulco, Mexico. Next year, it'll be February 14th through the 19th. That's most of a week, and it really is a great time.
Right, and just because they give the dates 14th through the 19th, there's things going on in the front of and the back of.
Frequently, yeah.
That you can, if you had a great time, and I suspect you will, because I really, really did, then you could plan a little longer.
If you wanted.
Yeah. I think it's worth going down and checking out for the main event and maybe planning a day or two on either side for the purpose of just being able to see Acapulco and that sort of thing.
It's a nice city.
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. The first thing that people after they hear about it, and they're like, yeah, that sounds great. What about the crime? That's the first things they say.
Right.
What about the crime, Ian?
Well, I mean, I didn't see any, and it's
Me
not
either.
that we stayed on the resort. We went into Acapulco multiple times. So, because if you're in the resort, then there's nothing to worry about.
Right.
If you're outside of the resort, then you're in Acapulco, and there's poor people there, but that's okay because they're nice folks. At least that we encountered. That doesn't mean there isn't crime in Acapulco. There's crime in every damn city.
I've walked around Acapulco about as much as I've walked around Las Vegas. I have been robbed in Las Vegas. I have not been robbed in Acapulco.
Right. A prostitute robbed you in Vegas.
I'm just presuming what her job was, but yes.
So anyway, check out anarchapulco.com. You can get the early bird pricing until the end of this month. So July 31st, that's the end of the early bird pricing. You save 15% off the early bird rates by using code FTL, like Free Talk Live. It's going to be a great lineup of speakers, including, yes, that's right, they're bringing Ron Paul back. So he was there this year. He's coming back to Acapulco in 2019. In addition to Judge Napolitano, Doug Casey, Larkin Rose, and many, many more. You're going to want to be there. And it was a sellout last year, so you're not... if you're thinking about going, you should probably start to pencil it in and start really making plans now rather than waiting, because it may sell out again. Even though they might be moving to a larger venue this time around, it still could very well sell out. So.
I'd get my tickets now with the early bird registration.
It was huge this year. I mean, it was huge. The hall they had was a 1,500 person hall. I've never been in a venue that large for a libertarian
Someone
conference.
likely had a bad time, but I don't know who they were.
Yeah, they didn't complain to us, that's for sure. Anarchapulco.com, use code FTL, grab your tickets now. So sharing with you an opinion piece here, kind of a summary of what happened with the first episode of Who is America, the new Sacha Baron Cohen show on Showtime, which is at the same time as being really entertaining and funny, also just shocking. It's amazing to watch.
That's great television.
Sacha Cohen's victims and what they will do when asked to do it, specifically by one of his characters, who is this sort of Israeli Mossad weapons expert kind of character. And when this guy comes in and talks to Republicans, they are just rapt with attention. They will do anything this guy, because he's the Mossad. You know, these are the people who get away with all of the, you know, anti-freedom, privacy-violating, freedom-destroying measures that we would, that, you know, the Republicans would love to implement here in a total police state, right? And the Democrats. But they are really, they just fall for this guy so hard. And so the first victim that they portray in the first episode is a man named Phillip Van Cleve, who is the head of the Virginia Citizens Defense League. And Cleve wrote an article on his Facebook page explaining why he went along with what they had him do.
Because he knew.
He claims he knew. He claims he figured it out during the interview, what was happening, that he was on a Borat-like kind of a setup. But he went along with it. And what they had him do was so ridiculous. They actually... He appears to. Now, of course, editing is clever and so on and so forth. There's the fact that it could have been cleverly edited. But... some of the things he did were so ridiculous and so outrageous, it's just hard to believe that somebody who wanted to be taken seriously as a gun rights advocate would do something like this, like actually advocating for children ages 3 or 4 years old to defend themselves with guns. And I'm sorry, but, you know, it's one thing handling a gun at age, say, 8 or 10. I think my dad took me out to the gun range for the first time, somewhere in that range. I don't remember exactly at what, you know, at what age.
I think that was around when I started.
Yeah. You can handle a .22 and maybe a larger, you know, caliber with supervision.
Mm-hmm.
But to suggest that, you know, a 3-year-old should just be allowed to have access to a gun, I'm sorry. I'm a gun rights, you know, freedom advocate. You should be able to defend yourself however you want. But you're not going to put me in a situation where I will advocate for something like that. That just seems to be the height of irresponsibility, right? You don't put a gun into somebody's hands who cannot even lift the thing, let alone control it if they were to pull the trigger. But that's the situation this man put himself in, recording a video for the kindergartens.
The National Report. Now, I don't know if this is one of those... yeah, this looks. It looks a little suspicious.
This is from Cleve himself.
I'm talking about boy 5 shoots and kills intruder. Police say.
Yeah, somebody said that to me when I brought this up to them. I don't know if it was you, Mark, but somebody brought up, well, there's a story about a 5-year-old or something like that. Like,
yep,
okay.
I did.
Well, maybe that's true. You know, I'm not going to deny. I don't know, but I'm still not going to get on the air and say a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old should be able to, you know, bear arms, because it seems ridiculous on its face and incredibly dangerous. But going on here, so they interview this guy Cleve from a Virginia Defense League, and his post, he writes a post on Facebook explaining himself. So the frantic post begins with Cleve writing about how, quote, while doing what seemed to be a regular interview, I discovered that a movie is being made with the intent to discredit gun rights leaders across the country. Cleve then insinuates that disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein was one of the, quote, extremely well-funded professionals, unquote, responsible for the film, and claims the production team provided luxe incentives for his involvement. Quote, reeling me in and to try to make me feel beholden to them, they laid out the red carpet by providing luxury accommodations, a limousine service, and providing a generous monetary allowance to cover meals and other expenses for 2 days.
Sounds nice.
Quote. After seemingly admitting to being swayed by this luxury treatment, Cleve described the other tactics used to fool him. He said he was initially approached via email to do an interview with a, quote, Israeli security expert, unquote, by a company called First Freedom Television. But 5 minutes into the interview, he says, quote, my radar turned on big time when the interviewer was making claims about Israeli schools training selected children to use firearms from age 17 down to age 4. When he balked at this apparent young training age, Cleve said the interviewer, Cohen, dressed as the agent, showed him a newscast about how a 4-year-old Israeli boy killed 2 terrorists with a gun he'd brought to school. Cleve wasn't totally persuaded by it, though, claiming that the, quote, news story just didn't look right, and 4-year-olds can hold a gun and fire it with supervision, but not take on terrorists, and especially managed to shoot and kill 2 of them, unquote. That was the last red flag for Cleve, who then became convinced, quote, this wasn't real, and probably some sort of a setup. I could only think of Hollywood's threat, unquote. He became certain this was a comedy intended to be, quote, humiliating to the victim with in the crosshairs, unquote. And who could stop this bad guy with a comedy gun? Only a good guy with a comedy gun, of course.
All right.
So once the interview portion was over and the interviewer asked Cleve to help him make a gun safety video with the purpose of training children to wield them, he knew, quote, this had to be the kicker, unquote. Cleve describes his self-sacrificing thought process for agreeing to this as such, quote, for better or for worse, I decided I would play along with the scheme so I could find out who was behind this and where this was going. I figured if I was right about this being a setup, I could blow the whistle and get a warning out to the gun rights community across the country to protect as many people as possible and maybe derail this attack. It turned out to be nothing, or excuse me, if it turned out to be nothing, then no harm, no foul. After a 3-hour shoot, according to Mashable, complete with airsoft gun props and a teleprompter, Cleve could confirm he'd been right all along, but the damage was done. Quote, the end goal was to get the victim to make a training film teaching 3- and 4-year-olds how to shoot guns hidden in toy animals at bad people, to sing little songs and make gun noises during the training to make it, quote, fun for children, unquote, and even teach little kids how to shoot a rocket-propelled grenade or a squad automatic weapon at an approaching suicide bomber vehicle.
Sounds like this guy brought a dildo to a gunfight.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. This guy actually went through with all of this purportedly because he wanted to investigate the situation.
Yeah.
Not the luxuries they gave him.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate you. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for regeneration. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, N-U-T-R-I, medical, MEDICAL.com. Or call our order line 888-212-8871.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter. He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
If he has to make a burrow in a tree stump, that's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the second time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and join us on the radio here. Our number's 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Also the Discord on-air call-in line room. With you in the studio, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Still to come here tonight, Mark, you're going to be telling us about a teenager who was posing as a police officer initiating traffic stops. And apparently he got away with it for a little bit. We'll tell you more about that. Also on the way your calls and thoughts about what you want. I wanted to play a clip here of the Kinderguardians, which is a skit on the Sacha Baron Cohen Who is America show that premiered last Sunday with episode 1 on the Showtime network, where, as usual, if you're familiar with Sacha Cohen's work, as he was Ali G and Borat and Bruno, those were his first 3 characters. He's got new characters, because obviously people are going to recognize him as the other ones. So he's got at least 5 new characters that have come out, one of which is this Israeli Mossad kind of weapons expert. And he can get these Republicans that he interviews to do just absolutely ridiculous things. It was pretty amazing last week, and that's what we're talking about last week. But this week, he might have topped it with an interview of a Republican state senator or state representative from Georgia, where the dude actually takes his pants down on video to promote Republicanism, anti-terror. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, let me get back into the story here. This is the Kinderguardians segment. So this is an interview that started with an interview with Phillip Van Cleve, who is a purported, gun freedom expert. He was interviewed, and he claims that during the interview, he kind of figured out that he was being put on when Sacha Cohen was claiming that 3- and 4-year-olds should be armed up. He actually got this guy to agree with him. And Cleve in a
What do you think
Facebook
he should have
post,
done when he figured that out?
He should never have said that, oh yeah, I mean, I don't have the exact quote here. I could play the interview portion, but I don't have that queued up at the moment. But he shouldn't have gone along with the idea, in my opinion, as somebody who believes in weapons freedom.
Ron Paul's tactic, this is a joke, you're a joke.
Get up and walk out?
Yeah, I'm walking out.
Well, actually, Ted Koppel gets up and walks out of the interview that they tried to put him in this week's episode. So it does happen. But, you shouldn't represent yourself as having beliefs that you don't have. Unless Phillip Van Cleve actually believes that 3-year-olds should be given guns, he should have said that that's, ridiculous. He does balk a little bit at one point during the interview, but then proceeds to go on with producing this segment of the Kinderguardians here. I've got the actual clip.
I guess I'm kind of confused. You, relatively recently, a few years ago, went along with a joke segment
on the Colbert Report.
On the Colbert Report that you knew was going to misrepresent you and your beliefs.
Yeah, we intended to go along with that from the very beginning. I mean, we knew that was comedy. No, he didn't. And again, if this is his actual belief, then that's one thing. In our case, with the Colbert Report, we weren't misrepresenting ourselves. We were talking about what we actually believed.
But
this
you
was
weren't really
what we were
represented, though. I mean, they didn't really give you very much time to say why.
I wasn't even interviewed in that. They interviewed me, but they cut my entire interview out of it.
Because that's what they were going to do.
So
right?
you think the way that they represented, for example, James Cleveland saying the white part, the good part, that they were representing his actual beliefs in a fair and honest fashion?
No, of course not. But, I don't think that it looked as though he were actually a racist or anything like that in that particular
I think
case.
there are plenty of people out there who took it that way and think that
They might have taken it that way, but I didn't, it didn't seem to me to be a racist statement.
I don't know. It just seems really hypocritical to me where you're critiquing this guy for participating when you made the same decision, basically.
No, it was a different decision.
Tell me the difference.
So he was... Again, if he actually believes 3-year-olds should be able to bear arms, then okay, then it's the same thing. But if he's representing himself in a way that's not accurate, regardless of editing techniques,
his claim is that he realized that he was going to be treated inaccurately anyway, and that he was going along with the skit to figure things.
So-called investigate the skit, while also admitting that he appreciated all the luxuries that they gave him, like a luxury hotel room, a generous meal allowance, and limousine service. So it really seems like he did a lot of this simply because he got paid. And he was willing to mold his beliefs because of that.
So he was an actor.
You could say that. But again, for somebody who... And it would be one thing if he was just an actor, but he's not. He's a person in the gun rights movement.
He was an actor at that time, if that's what he's claiming.
So it'd be one thing...
He was an unpaid actor. I mean, or, in his case, he got paid something. What'd you guys get paid?
We didn't get paid.
Oh,
we
so
got
you were
publicity.
unpaid actors. He was a paid actor.
All
right.
No, we weren't acting. We were doing what we actually do.
James Cleveland wore a little Robin Hood hat and had a tiny bow and arrow with a suction cup on the end.
Yeah,
I have never seen him do that in real life.
We took what we really believe and we went to a silly extreme with it. But that's different than getting on the national television if you don't actually believe 3-year-olds should be armed and suggesting that you do believe that 3-year-olds should be armed.
If you're not actually insane, you shouldn't act like you're actually insane, right? That's what you guys looked like. That was at the end of the story.
Just because you can't take a joke isn't my problem.
That's what he might be saying to you.
So anyway, here's the audio clip.
Shalom, children. My name is Eran Morad. I'm here to show you that guns, when used responsibly, with training from grown-ups, can help keep you safe in your school. Here to help teach you is Phillip Van Cleve.
The caption beneath his name says, friendly grown-up, in very colorful text.
Not every strange man you meet gonna be friendly and non-threatening like me.
Today we're going to teach you.
No, he's really ugly. He's got a face mask on as well. Like there's a latex mask to make him look different.
How you can stop these naughty men and have them take a long nap.
That's right, and that's why you're going to meet a friend of mine. His name is Papi Pistol.
Okay, so just to describe what's going on here, the background is sort of like a classroom, this very colorful, animated-looking kind of classroom background, and Sacha Cohen's character has now pulled out a pistol with a little puppy dog, stuffed animal face on top of it, and that's what he's showing off here.
Now, Philip, will you show us how to feed Papi Pistol?
To feed him, take his lunchbox and push it into his tummy like this. Just remember to point Puppy Pistol's mouth right at the middle of the bad man. If he has a big fat tummy, point at that.
Great. It's fun.
Okay.
Puppy Pistol is part of a whole group of new friends that your parents can get you, called Gunnimals. Wouldn't you love to meet this little Gunny Rabbit?
He's ready to put the naughty man on a very long time out.
How about the magical Uzicorn?
Well, this is one for the girls. It's a lovely little unicorn that you can play with.
These are all stuffed animals sort of wrapped around or with a gun sticking through them in some way. Is what these are.
It's funny. It sounds funny.
It is funny.
Of bad men.
And tots, you gotta learn that Dino Gun eats and spits.
Here he's actually holding like a I don't know what kind of caliber machine gun this thing is, but they've moved well beyond pistols at this point. As though if you could believe that a child could heft a pistol, you certainly couldn't believe that they could heft and machine gun.
Spits his candy really, really fast.
Rocket Ship RPG will take you to the moon.
Or rather, the bad guys are going to the moon if they attack your school with a truck full of big, scary fireworks.
And introducing BFF, a starter gun for infants 24 months and under. BFF is so easy to fire. Even a baby can use it.
Okay, so what's going on screen here is they're showing a teddy bear. like a big teddy bear, and then there's sort of like a cutaway of the teddy bear's head. It's got a pull string. You know the old dolls where you'd pull the string and it would say something back in the day? You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So this pull string is attached.
I have to go potty.
Right. Except this pull string, you can see the inside of the head is attached to a trigger on a pistol that is embedded within the bear. So that's what they're talking about here.
BFF wants to help you. Pull the string on a bad guy. Make
And
bang, bang.
Yeah, they actually have Van Cleve holding the bear, pulling the string, and, letting it go.
Aim at the head, shoulders, not the toes, not the toes.
Fire!
Head, shoulders, not the toes, not the toes.
Fire!
Eyes, ears, and belly, and nose. Head, shoulders, not the toes, not the toes.
And the whole time he's singing this, he's pointing one of these guns with a stuffed animal on it at the camera as he's delivering this.
I'm sorry.
It's
this guy was
hilarious.
just participating in a comedy sketch.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's all that went on here.
Now that I had a common sense training video, it was time to take it to the nation's capital.
Right. So that's the Kinderguardians, and he continues to, and it's not Van Cleve who's the only victim in this particular skit. There are at least 4 or 5 different kind of conservative people. You're saying, Mark, no big deal. Doesn't matter that this guy looks ridiculous. He knew he was in on it.
This is comedy. You should look at it as comedy.
No doubt. It is absolutely comedy. The toll-free
If you
number
want to
here-
be taken seriously, don't participate in comedy sketches, though.
Yeah, I suspect he shouldn't have participated in this. If he
I would
wanted to be
agree.
taken
He should not
seriously.
have.
More coming up here in moments. You can take control of the airwaves. Hour number 2 next. It's Free Talk Live.
If you owe any money to the IRS, you need to call *1234. That's *1234. Uncle Sam has the power to make your life miserable. You could stop the IRS collections process right now by calling *1234. When you call the Tax Defense Center, you'll get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate your back taxes, including penalties and interest. *1234. *1234 could save you thousands on your back taxes. You could also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have entered into a payment plan and can't make the payments. It's your hard-earned money. Stop Uncle Sam right now. Make the call that could help you end the worry today. *1234. That's *1234. *1234. *1234.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, July 24th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,226 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $25, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,257. Antiwar.com reports doubling down on President Trump's late-night Twitter rant threat to make Iran suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. National Security Advisor John Bolton says President Trump had spoken to him in recent days about his intention to take action. Bolton says Trump told him that the next time Iran does anything at all to the negative, they will pay a price like few countries have ever paid before. Bolton has been advocating U.S. wars against Iran for many years, and while neither Trump nor Bolton expressed explicitly said that what was going to happen to Iran was a U.S. military attack, that was clearly meant to be the implication. Bolton in particular would almost certainly not seem so satisfied with the plan if it was something short of war. Most analysts are comparing President Trump's recent comments against Iran to last year's threats against North Korea, which preceded a diplomatic deal. Whether this is an attempt to replicate that in Iran or just a threat for its own sake remains to be seen. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports ride-hailing companies Uber and Lyft have suspended a St. Louis driver who live-streamed hundreds of passengers for months without their knowledge. The live streams revealed personal conversations of passengers on a Twitch web channel and comments made about the conversations and female passengers' bodies, a format similar to HBO's Taxi Cab Confessions from the late 1990s and early 2000s. The driver, Jason Gargak, told the St. Louis Dispatch he doesn't see anything wrong with broadcasting his rides to a web audience. The revelation, though, had provoked debate about privacy, ethics, and legality, even though an Uber spokesperson said the practice is not against the law in Missouri. Nonetheless, Uber and Lyft both suspended him after the Post-Dispatch first reported the story. A statement by Lyft said, "The safety and comfort of the Lyft community is our top priority, and we have deactivated this driver." Gargak's livestream channel was also removed from Twitch. Twitch said in a statement to UPI, "In terms of this particular person, we do not comment on terms of service violations in regard to specific individuals." Before his channel was taken down, Gargak had earned about $3,500 from Twitch users since March. He also said he primarily used the streams, which were archived on his channel for 60 days for security reasons. He emphasized that he added a 4-inch square sticker on the rear passenger window that read, "Notice, for security, this vehicle is equipped with audio and visual recording devices. Consent given by entering vehicle." Passengers contacted by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said they did not see the sticker. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the family of an Australian woman shot dead by Minneapolis police last year after calling to report a suspected crime near her home sued the city and several officers on Monday, saying they violated her civil rights. The fatal July 2017 shooting of 40-year-old life coach Justine Ruzick-Damond sparked international outrage amid a wave of U.S. police shootings that fueled a debate over the use of force by law enforcement. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor was charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter for shooting Damond through the door of his patrol car as she approached him after calling police to say she thought she heard a woman being raped. Noor was fired the day the charges were filed and is free on $400,000 bail. The civil suit, filed in federal district court in Minnesota, names Noor and his partner Matthew Harity and accuses them of conspiring to conceal the facts around the shooting and failing to record the incident on their body cameras. The suit also referenced their ages. Noor was 32, Harity was 25, and called them inexperienced officers who appear by their conduct unfit for duty. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Following today's press conference in which NASA announced its continuing search for a planet capable of supporting NASA, researcher Dr. Kenneth Heiser sat down with Onion reporters to detail their ongoing mission to find a NASA habitable planet.
Our objective is to find a planet capable of nurturing not just life, but also a sustained interest in the exploration of the cosmos. Such a planet would need to have water and proximity to light and heat, but also life forms with even the vaguest understanding of the importance of astronomical exploration. Ultimately, this would need to be a planet with organisms that have a genuine interest in expanding the limits of their knowledge.
Heiser added that any planet capable of supporting NASA would need to be able to generate a steady stream of financing to meet the agency's $18 billion annual budget.
The important thing is we just need to be patient. There's a limitless number of planets in the universe, and eventually we'll find one with the resources to support our work. We just have to. right?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. How did a 14-year-old get away with initiating traffic stops on people? Mark's got that story on the way, plus your calls, your thoughts about whatever's on your mind as we continue here. It's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Let's talk first to Trey, calling in from Phoenix, Arizona. Trey, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I just wanted to bring up something. There's a caller who called in a few days ago who was talking about he was a true believer for Trump and everything.
Okay.
And I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. I've encountered some people like that, not just from the right, but on the left too. And the ones I've encountered, they were like going on about how free they are and how America's the land of the free and all this stuff.
These are people on the left?
Well, I've encountered like Obama supporters who were like true believers for Obama.
Okay. But you're saying the people on the left were going on about how free they were, or was it the people on the right, or both who were going on about that?
Both.
Okay.
Both. But as of recently, it's been more prominent in the media and stuff with like the Trump supporters.
Sure.
But my question is.
Oh yeah, they truly believe. I'm sorry. They do truly believe that the swamp is being drained. That everything is different now in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I suspect they will find over time that it's not that much different.
Yeah, hopefully they'll see that. Well, in addition to that, I wanted to see what your thoughts. What do you think? How free is someone if they're just like a total sycophant for someone else, and they're like completely idolizing like another person, and they're like going out on the streets and cheerleading, and they're wearing T-shirts and hats with like the person's face on it, and like fighting people because they dislike, whatever politician or whatever idol.
They were free enough to choose to be somebody's tool, I guess. They chose, seems like they chose that for themselves, but, are you a free person if you're somebody else's tool?
Not in my opinion.
So. Yeah, I don't think so. You've you've made yourself subservient to whatever that person's will is, whatever their whim is, whatever that movement is asking of them. That doesn't sound like much freedom to me. Now, obviously, they can choose to do otherwise. So, again, they did make the choice to be that person. Whatever.
I've got a T-shirt of Walter Sobchak from Big Lebowski.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're suggesting...
just thinking of the T-shirts and people that I might wear a T-shirt of.
Sure, but you're not an adherent
Yeah.
to any kind of philosophy around that or following orders of anyone in that case.
I mean, he wears a lot of Captain America stuff, and he's against mutant registration. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's one thing to like appreciate someone, but it's another to go to the point of you just blindly worshiping them,
right,
and just screaming at the top of your lungs about how great they are and how they're going to save the world.
You wouldn't throw yourself into a fight, Mark, over the character Walter Sobchak being, let's say, insulted at a party or something like that.
Ian, you're out of your element.
Is that's a reference to the movie? Okay, gotcha. The answer is no. You would not throw yourself into a fight in a situation like that.
This is radio, Ian. Yeah. There are rules.
Is that another reference?
It is another one, yeah.
Wow.
It's not Nam.
I'm not a big enough fan of that movie. I've only seen it a couple times, but it's pretty good, The Big Lebowski. Anyway, Trey, what other thoughts do you want to share? Go ahead.
I got another one, too. The bit you guys did a couple days ago on patriotism. I've encountered people, too, who talk about patriotism. And from my experiences, I rarely ever get a sort of coherent, concise definition of what patriotism is and why they consider themselves a patriot. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Herbert Spencer, but I think he gave a definition of like patriotism that was something along the lines of for my country, wrong or right, which which I think in practice translates into for my government, wrong or right.
Yes, absolutely. Because your country isn't going to ask you to do anything. The plot of land isn't going to make mistakes. The plot of land isn't going to send anybody on a suicide run in some other foreign plot of land. The land mass, the people within it, is this sort of nebulous thing. The government is what sends people to their doom. The government is what imprisons innocent people, the people calling themselves the state. These are the problem. This is the country to which these people are referring. But the problem with, the country and the United States and the government is all these things in America, these terms all get kind of muddled together, and it's very hard for people to discern what they really mean when they say these things, because they don't really know, because they haven't really thought about it. They just think, I like freedom. This country means freedom, therefore freedom is the United States, freedom is America, freedom is the government, even though when they know the government isn't free and they're not free, and it's just this crazy muddled mess.
It's like, me and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So why does Mark prefer the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team over the rest of the football teams that play?
You were born 100 miles away from their stadium.
Yeah, about that. Maybe a bit less than that, but not much less.
True, you were from Bradenton, so maybe 50 to 70 or something.
Right. So, not too far from, that's the closest football team. There's a couple of players historically that I liked, but there's a lot of players outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that I liked too.
Some of those players were on other teams before they were in the Buccaneers and went to other teams after they were in the Buccaneers. They were very rarely from Tampa Bay, correct?
Very rarely. Like, your football team likely has very few people from your region on it.
They're just there for the money.
The only thing ultimately that you like when it comes to your football team is where it's from and the color. I mean, those are the only things that stay static. The owners change, the players change.
Because the Bucs were terrible for a long time, right?
For a very long time.
Then they changed the uniforms and got better.
Right. And so you could like the United States because it is the, if you want to call the hegemony that is the U.S.'s influence around the world, you could call it the world's largest empire, history's largest empire, the most powerful nation state that has ever existed. You could use that terminology. You can't use the freest place in the world anymore because
not true.
It is
demonstrably not true.
Quantifiably inaccurate to say that. And I can't even tell you the country that's freer because there are several. I think it was listed on Heritage Foundation's Free the World. It was number 18.
And that's down from last year, down from the year before.
Places that you would call socialist. Canada is higher on the list than the United States.
It's true.
And so it's not that. It's not freedom that people like. Eagles, FA-18s, those are awesome. But I don't know.
Trey, anything else? Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. Go ahead. Yep.
All right. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
No,
okay, bye-bye.
Thanks.
You can't miss twice.
Yep. Let's go to Luke. He's calling from Vietnam. You're on Free Talk Live, watching us on Twitch.
Yes. Hello, Ian. This is probably the last time Luke McKee, am going to call in.
All right, then.
To resolve, but I'm not going to say I'm not. It's not going to end. If
What's
you
not
cannot
going to
say
end?
sorry, if Ian, I'm going to contact your sponsors and give them the clip of you, Ian Freeman, with your mouth moving, saying Terry Bean did nothing wrong after he was charged with having sex with a 14-year-old boy. When you, Ian Freeman, said, and I quote, that's not illegal, don't you?
Okay, so this is the same clip that you called about, and maybe you didn't call about it. You posted it in our Discord chat. Here, hang on. I'm just going to put you on hold there because it's important to respond to this. He posted some clip on our Discord chat recently.
From years ago.
Alleging that I said something about, that's legal, don't you? It was actually Rich Paul who said that. Anybody who watches the video, who knows the difference between me and Rich Paul, could say that. And what Rich was suggesting was that sex between people of those ages in that state was legal. And I don't know if he was right or wrong about that, and I really don't see what the problem is either way, Luke. Hello?
It was you, Rich followed your lead after you said, that's not illegal, don't you, twice, interrupting
Well, feel free to send it along.
Hold on, Luke.
around.
I got some questions. Hold Luke over, because
Okay.
I'd like
If
to
you
ask
wanna talk
a
to
couple
Luke.
of questions, because I really want to find this out. I mean, what he's talking about is an important issue, and I'm really curious as to what he's trying to make out of it.
It wasn't even really a controversial statement, but either way, there's more coming up here in moments. You can take control of the airwaves, bring up what you want. This is Free Talk Live.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. So far in 2018, the Innocence Network has welcomed 32 wrongfully convicted people home from prison for crimes they did not commit and had a record-breaking 850 people unite in Memphis at their annual conference. The movement of freeing the innocent and reforming the criminal justice system is growing and would not be possible without your support. Together as 68 network organizations around the world, they've helped exonerate 513 people who spent a combined total of 7,804 years in prison. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Stream now.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. You can bring up what you want here. The number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, Ian here.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Zencash is a great cryptocurrency developed by people who care about freedom, people who are voluntarists. They actually wrote the ideas of voluntarism into their white paper over at zencash.com. So they're starting from a perspective of a philosophical purity and understanding when it comes to freedom and also economics. It's a good place to start. But add to that some of the best technical aspects like privacy.
Jumping 20% today, too.
Did it really?
Also a bonus.
So privacy provisions in Zencash, some of the best privacy technology out there. They are very secure with over 13,000 secure nodes, making them one of the most secure networks in the world of cryptocurrency. They're adding in new features all the time, like decentralized autonomous organizations. I believe they're still working on that. And the upcoming super nodes that they'll be adding to the system to bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. Their official Zencash wallet is available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. You can learn more over at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. As we continue here, we've got Luke on the line in Vietnam, who he says it's his last time that he's going to be calling into the show. I wanted to say
it's a warning, though. I mean, he's gonna go after us.
Says he's going to keep going if I don't apologize or something for saying something I didn't actually say, but that I, don't necessarily have any disagreement with. So I wouldn't, had I said it, have any reason to apologize. You're referring to a clip that you've now called about, or at least you've posted it in our chat room. I don't know if you've called about it previously, but I think you have. A clip of the show that you posted on your YouTube channel about you calling into the show, making some reference to some Obama friend of Obama. There's a couple of years back, yeah. A friend of Obama's having sex with, allegedly, a 15-year-old male.
Terry Bain? What was the name you said?
Luke?
Terry Bean. Terry Bean says Obama is on C-SPAN saying Terry Bean is my dear friend.
Okay.
On camera.
I can't
Just
even
like
find
you are
that.
on camera. May I speak without interruption and interference?
May I speak as long as you speak facts.
Terry Bean.
So far, he's telling
there is a video
falsehoods.
with Ian's mouth moving
on
camera saying, you know that's not illegal, don't you?
Okay,
Twice.
so how many times do we actually have to correct you on this? We actually played the audio back 2 days ago or whatever it was.
But he's really convinced.
He's convinced.
What do you want to do with this information? Ian's denied it. Now that's where we're
I've played the
at.
audio to prove that it's false.
But now he says he's denied it. What do you want to do about that?
And what you're doing is you're trying to take down my YouTube channel with bogus reports.
Never. I've never done that on any YouTube channel ever. Never.
No, as a matter of fact, I got to see a YouTube channel of you recently. Hey, wait, Luke.
I'm just putting him on hold
Luke,
there.
I keep talking about sexual allegations and I can't figure out why my YouTube channel keeps getting demonetized. It must be all you people reporting my videos.
Well, it could be that he's hanging out on YouTube channels of people who are like wearing Nazi hats and having Nazi flags in the background and skulls and crossbone masks. I mean, what are you doing on that show, Luke? Luke?
Was he on that show?
Yes. Yes, I listened to an hour of this rambling nonsense where they're talking about the master race and all that stuff. Luke, where you at, brother? Okay.
He's right there.
Yeah, well, I'm an anti-pedophilia activist, so I'm not. Of course, I'm going to make friends with people who don't like gay pedophiles.
Are you a neo-Nazi?
Do you understand that 14...
No,
I want him to answer a question.
It's respect for the activism I do. So you just keep making strawman arguments upon strawman arguments.
This isn't a straw man. There's a guy with a Nazi hat on a video that you're talking on.
Well, I mean, I've been on Chris Cantwell's show.
Wait a second! Everybody shut up! Luke, are you a neo-Nazi?
Are you still Chris Cantwell's friend?
I do see Chris Cantwell now and then. I mean, I don't punch him in the face when I see him. I've answered your question. Are you a neo-Nazi?
No. I sympathize with them quite a lot.
Do you think that there is a global Jewish conspiracy?
There is a Jewish... Do you know how... Very good question. I woke up because I started investigating and doxing Jewish judges normalizing pedophilia in Australia in the John Sunhol case.
Okay, so Jews are pushing pedophilia. Is that right?
PhD. Thank you very much.
Jews are pushing pedophilia? Is that the idea?
Yes, Judge Francis Marks.
No, I understand that there's bound to be a Jew out there somewhere that likes pedophilia. I don't disagree with you. I'm just wondering whether Jews generally are pushing pedophilia.
That's a sweeping. It's a pretty big sweeping argument, but I would say that Orthodox Jews are not, and the Sabbatean Frankist religion of the Rothschild Jew, the Ordo Templi Orientis pedophile cult that mandates children join the Gnostic Catholic mass orgy ritual, they'll be doing it, yes.
So what's your cutoff? Because the definition of pedophilia doesn't include 14-year-olds. So what's your age? Is it like 27? Like what constitutes pedophilia?
Under the age of consent.
Nope, you're wrong about that. And that's what I said to you the first time that you called in.
It's about pubescence.
Right. So I'll just play this back, for the benefit of the audience out there. This is the clip that Luke has on his own channel that he claims we're trying to take down. False. I can't speak for you guys, but I've never once reported any video, no matter how critical or whatever, of any of the hosts on this show.
If he wanted to take your video down, we'd take your video down. It's our intellectual property, okay?
Well, I don't believe in intellectual property.
No, hold on. The law says it's our intellectual property. Yes or no?
I don't believe in intellectual property.
I didn't ask you what you believe, you Nimrod.
I'm not taking any videos down.
I didn't say you did. If I wanted to take that video down, Luke, I'd have take it down right now tonight.
All right,
it'd be gone.
Let me just play this real fast here, just to give the context. This is the clip where he claims I'm saying something.
_OPSEC. And that tweet shows you that you will be prosecuted for pointing out Obama has friends who fly on Air Force One who have been charged with having sex with a 15-year-old boy, and the 15-year-old boy's statement of his underage gay sex with Basic Rights Oregon's queer hero, Terry Bean.
You do know that's not pedophilia, right?
Newspaper
That's
website.
You do know that's not pedophilia, right?
As a matter of fact, it would be legal in South Carolina.
Pedophilia.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It's pederasty under the Wikipedia definition, pederasty.
What is the definition of that? I'm not familiar with it.
Well, it's having sex with young adolescents.
Okay, so, and this brings us back to what you were saying, Johnson, which is to say that age 14, or in this case 15, which was the age being discussed, is not, which as I pointed out here, is not pedophilia. You would describe that as what, Johnson? Attraction to people who are prepubescent, correct? Isn't that basically the definition?
Prepubescent would be pedophilia. Yeah.
Right. Whereas Luke seems to believe that pedophilia...
Postpubescent would be the, largest majority of all human history, the age when people get married.
Right. And Luke seems to believe that pedophilia is attraction to people who are under the legal age of consent, which I'm sorry, Luke, that is just not accurate. Anyway, you're back on. Go ahead.
I mean, to be fair about that, though, I don't necessarily think that people should be getting married at age 14. I don't think that that's a decision that teenagers nowadays should be making. But for most of history, they were kings and stuff at age 14 and 15.
Until recently, in New Hampshire, 12-year-olds could get married to each other with parental consent.
Mark, do you still want this guy?
No.
All right, thanks for the call, Luke. There we go.
Go get my advertisers,
the
Luke.
call ever. Goodbye.
I'm going to show them the picture of the Nazi guy and say, this is the dude that's trying to come after me.
More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Jessica Armand, creator of the fluoride-free oral care brand My Magic Mud. You're going to love our new products. Our cutting-edge oral rinses deeply soothe your mouth and fight cavities naturally. Our breath spray, My Magic Mist, will invigorate your senses with essential oils of peppermint and eucalyptus. Our clinically proven toothpaste and tooth powders whiten your teeth and detoxify your mouth. Buy discounted bundles direct at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off with coupon code GCN10. mymagicmud.com.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, Xkeyscore, Boundless Informant.
Hey y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line room, which you can join and sound like you're sitting in the studio with us. Discord.lrn.fm can get you there. There's Discord apps for pretty much every operating system and phone type that you've got out there: Android, iOS, Linux, Windows, Macintosh. Very, very handy. If you don't want to download an app, they've got a web version too you can use, so you don't have to.
Go ahead.
Discord.lrn.fm. By the way, a lot of libertarians got to know Tom Woods during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times bestselling author. He's written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. And since September of 2013, Tom's been putting out his own show, The Tom Woods Show, every single weekday, which means he's racked up nearly 1,200 episodes so far, including great guests like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more. Topics including the war, Federal Reserve, net neutrality, FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. You can find The Tom Woods Show online at tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher. As we continue here, Johnson, you wanted to correct something that our last caller, Luke, who is in our chat server as Deep State Pedo Hunter. He's the second person, by the way, to ever receive the toxic user designation. So the first one was James in Arizona, mouth-breathing dullard on there, and so now there are two. So you'll only find him in our toxic user zone where he's posting right now. Anyway, go ahead. Presuming he's still listening, you had a message for him.
Right. So just, for those who might share his feeble ability at literacy. The very first line of the article he quoted about pederasty says, "Not to be confused with pedophilia."
Okay.
The very first line.
Then he goes on to confuse them. All right.
Yeah, he went on to confuse them and say, that the pederasty article says it's a homosexual relationship between an adult male and a pubescent or adolescent male. Whereas I was saying that there's a huge difference because pedophilia, which is a different word, is about prepubescent children.
Right, it's literally attraction to children.
Attraction to children, like babies and infants. And
prepubescence, which goes all the way up through pubescence.
Yeah, yep. It's a different ball game. It's
So what is pederasty?
Both are questionable and creepy, but I think pedophilia is a lot different.
What's
than
the definition
post-pubescent
of pederasty?
Being attracted to post-pubescent.
Basically, sex with somebody who's under the age of consent.
Under the age of consent.
Yeah.
I think he was correct on that. So
and I just want
that's
to also
one fact.
But he defined pedophilia as that.
I just want to also add in that if you have or own a pedometer, it's not for metering pedos. It's for, monitoring how many steps you have. Again, another different word that has pedo in it. But pedometer, again, not for metering, not for like monitoring
measuring
or metering,
pedophilia.
Pedophilia. It's for steps. It's a different word. Different words can have PED at the beginning of them, or even PEDO. It is possible in the English language to have similar sounding or even spelled words that have entirely different meanings.
I feel bad for our advertisers who may actually have to listen to this man's ramblings if he really does end up calling them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I got this.
Poor guys.
Well, okay, so ultimately, I talk to advertisers when they come on, and I have to tell them, look, sometimes people go nuts and call advertisers. This happens.
It has happened, yeah.
And you have to look strongly at the facts in these circumstances because the world's full of maniacs. Best I can tell, Luke's one of them. He's looking out for this global Jewish conspiracy. He's hanging out with people talking about the master race.
Evidence doesn't matter to Luke. It doesn't matter the fact that we've played the evidence back more than once with him on the line now. I'm not going to do it again.
What matters is he's right. And he's hunting. At this point, he's hunting people down. And he's going to find the pedophiles of the world. Well, go to the dark web and find out where the pedophiles are. There aren't any on this show.
You'll have to go to the FBI's servers to find them, apparently.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah, right. Hang out at the FBI offices. They're the largest distributors of pedophilic
child pornography.
Yeah, child pornography information out there. Oh, by the way, he tried to defend that. He's like, it's not.
Oh, really?
It's not distribution of child pornography because they had to do it. Well, wait, that's not a defense. That's a defense. It's not a denial, right? They distributed it because it's the best way to find them. Well, they found child pornographers and possessors of child pornography for years without doing this. You don't need to violate people's rights and entrap them and all these sorts of things and distribute child pornography. The important part here is if the distribution of child pornography harms people, that's
the argument that some people make.
Hold on, I'm not done. If it is a crime with a victim, then the FBI is the greatest victimizer the world has ever seen of people that were victims of child pornography. Please go ahead, Johnson.
I like this line here from the article about pederasty. One line, it says, in most countries today, the local age of consent determines whether or not a person is considered legally competent to consent to sexual acts and whether such contact is abusive to the young person. So essentially, I guess, right, the younger the government determines the age of consent to be, they're determining whether or not that contact is abusive or not. So it's basically the government judges what's abusive and what's not. So if the government sets the age of consent to, say, 12, then it's okay, right? According to the government, right? That's... As long as the government determined it, it's not abusive, right?
That's the claim.
Because, as long as...
Meaning that it's abusive in some countries.
As long as we live in a society of law.
Yeah.
Except the government is controlled by the global Jewish conspiracy, and Luke is nuts.
Right. And don't forget those places where the age of consent differs and is lower than the age of consent to being photographed.
In some places, the age of consent is like 4 years old to get married. I mean, it's like... but I feel like there are plenty of people out there who are these legal nut jobs who are like, well, if the law determined it, it's okay.
Right, I'm sorry. When did the law ever determine morality?
Right.
What I find interesting about consent laws is, for instance, in some states, you can commit a felony, and people will happily call that, support the state in upgrading that to an adult charge because you committed an adult crime. That's fine if that's how we're going to use that, that yardstick. But if you can make the decision to commit an adult crime, then you should be able to make the decision to have sex or drink alcohol or go to rated R movies or whatever it is that we're talking about as far as consent goes.
Oh, but that would be consistent.
You can either consent to something or you can't.
Well, the law doesn't work that way, right? The law says you can go to an R-rated movie at 17, you can smoke cigarettes at 18, you can drink alcohol at 21, you can rent a car at 25.
I was horribly abused because I went to many R-rated movies and found my way into managing to make that happen before those regulations became
well, it's actually not a
widespread,
regulation on that. But
I just abused myself all the time with those horrible movies that were rated R when I was younger than 17 years old.
And you can consent to sex at age 16 in many states, or
which
18
I think is
in
far
others.
too low. As far as I'm concerned, to consent to sex, you should be able to support yourself and a baby financially, because a baby is the probable, almost certain result of sex. So that's my opinion as far as the age of consent. But I would say
not old
this.
Enough.
What's that?
You can't support yourself.
Right. But you
and a
stop.
baby. I don't know that I could support that yet.
They're not that expensive when they're young, and you'll step up to the plate. It was kind of hard for me in those first couple of years, too. But I would say this is, so he's talking about this instance apparently with this guy that I don't know having sex with a 15-year-old, and I'm just presuming from the things he says, 15-year-old male, is that if that 15-year-old male can't give consent, and we're just presuming, you already know where I stand on the age of consent. I've already stated that. But if he can't consent, then let's take two situations. In one case, a 15-year-old male is raped forcibly. And in another case, he is not raped forcibly and consents.
Claims to consent.
Claims to consent even though he can't consent.
Legally.
If you advocate for different sentences for these two crimes, then you truly do believe that guy can consent. Does that make sense?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So in the case that somebody can't consent, but does consent, if you're advocating for a lower charge than actual rape, then you believe in consent.
Yeah, so to me, it just depends on what the individual says. If the person says they consented, then they did. If they didn't, then that's rape. There's more coming up here in moments. 855, 450, free. You don't get the magical ability to reason and consent just because you cross an arbitrary political threshold.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will advance the decentralization of the Zencash network and ensure the utility not only of Zencash as a currency, but also the future services that will be layered in the infrastructure. Learn more at zencash.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at dyln.co. That's dyln.co.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio here, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
You can bring up whatever is on your mind. Also, want to make sure you know about the Free Talk Live AMP program. You go to amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And that's where you can get behind the show for $5 per month. You can use any major credit card. You can use PayPal. You can use Bitcoin, BTC, over at amp.freetalklive.com. You'll get some cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast. There's also the AMP-only Facebook group, as well as AMP-only chat rooms on our Discord server. You get all that and more. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. It makes a big difference when you do that for us because it allows us to effectively market the show to the radio stations out there. We've got over 190 great radio stations coast to coast, and we could have 400. I mean, it's possible. It just takes effort, takes time, takes marketing, and that's what the AMP program allows us to do, as well as bring internet listeners on board. Once again, it's amp.freetalklive.com. Mark, if I can pull you away from hammering away at the Discord chat room.
Sorry.
There. You had a story that you wanted to share with us about a teenager.
About a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's a boy, but let's see
what the article says.
What he did. I would call it a young man.
I think that's a better terminology. I think that people, this is what I tell my son, is that under the age of 6 is a little boy. Over the age of 6 to 12 is a big boy.
Okay.
Over the age of 12 is a young man.
Young man, okay.
Over the age of 18 is a man.
Gotcha.
That's the terminology I use. So, I mean, throughout history, men have there's been manhood ceremonies in probably more societies than not, and generally that manhood comes somewhere in the age of pubescence, mid-pubescence, and 12 has been pretty generally that. So I think whether the government treats you like a man or not, you should act like one at about 12 years old. So I think this kid's responsible for his actions. But I can, anyway, let me go on to the story.
Which were what and where?
Yeah, from KTLA.com. A teen accused of posing as law enforcement officer on multiple incidents in San Bernardino County, including one in which he allegedly initiated a traffic stop on an unsuspecting driver, has been arrested, authorities said Wednesday. In one case, which took place on Monday. The 14-year-old boy was allegedly driving an SUV with flashing red and blue emergency lights mounted on the inside of the front windshield.
Wow.
When he pulled over into a driveway into the 13600 block of Micah Avenue.
By the way, I'm pretty sure this is a
Victorville.
felony in most places to impersonate a police officer to use flashing red and blue lights.
I wonder why.
Because the police take themselves very seriously.
Yeah, that's what I suspect the reason is because police take themselves very seriously. And, I mean, I could put flashing red lights in my car.
You could, and that might get you arrested.
No, it wouldn't get me arrested.
No?
I'm a firefighter.
Oh.
And I respond to calls in it. I did have an instance where I was on my way to an emergency and some guy decided to pass me in a no passing zone as I was turning left into the emergency and nearly caused an accident. So I thought to myself, maybe some emergency lights might have been a good idea in that instance. He shouldn't have been doing what he was doing, but you can never trust. People make mistakes, and then there's lunatics like Luke. In one case, which took place on Monday, the 14-year-old boy was driving the SUV lights, the emergency lights.
Did you get caught up yet?
The white Ford Explorer, thank you, had no law enforcement or other type of markers to identify it. Not that that's
Not
a surprise.
uncommon.
Yeah. Cops pull people over all the time with just flashing lights in cars intended to not look like police cars on the side of the road.
And how do you really ever know if you're dealing with a real cop? If you get pulled over by somebody odds are if it's a marked car, it's probably a cop. Probably unlikely the car was stolen.
This kid could have stolen a marked car.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times when the cops leave their engines running and, their door is unlocked. Somebody could just jump right in there and drive the thing away.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the question that was brought up for me in this instance is, should this person have obeyed this 14-year-old boy in a fake cop car? Because that's what this was. This was a guy dressed up as a police officer in a police car giving orders that God knows why. Who knows? I mean,
I wish there was video. I would love to see this, dash cam footage of this kid pulling somebody over and how that goes.
After exiting the SUV, the teen went to the front door and made contact with the residents, telling them that they was there to investigate a report of a domestic disturbance.
Oh, this was at a wait, was he pulling people over or did he go to a house?
All of
the above.
Yeah, all this stuff is going on. They were confused by the prompted visit. For me, it was like, that's not normal. Do cops do that? The juvenile was dressed in a San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department uniform, complete with a belt holster that contained a firearm, authorities said. But despite the props, Jones said it was an unconvincing get-up. I saw the police uniform and thought, that just doesn't look right. It's loose, and the belt buckle isn't staying on his hips. However, Jones was also insistent the teen appears older than 14 in person. The boy became worried after a larger group of people appeared behind Jones and fled without further incident, she said. According to the police, she had tried to open the front door, and it was shut on him, but it found it was locked. So he attempted to open a door on her, like he was attempting to use his authority that he had dressed up in. And that's ultimately what police are. They're people with funny get-ups in funny cars telling you what to do. And this kid demonstrates it really, really well. I don't know what else to say, but it's incidents like this that make one wonder when one is getting pulled over or dealing with a police officer or whatever's going on, if in fact this person is imbued with the authority of the state, and what exactly is the authority of the state?
It's just a fantasy. It's just a collective belief that it's okay for these people to use violence against others.
If this kid had been bigger, he'd been 24 instead of 14, he would have filled out that uniform. And if he had, then what would have happened? Did he want to go in this house and rape Jasmine?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's something I was going to ask is if he had, because there's some pretty big 14-year-olds out there, right? Like I remember in high school, there were the jocks or
man-sized 14-year-olds.
Big guys. If one of those guys was wearing this uniform and he pulled over a young female, not even young, but a female, it has not been unheard of in the past for us to report on stories of police, actual cops, using their threat of violence to coerce women into sexual activity. If a teenage boy under the age of consent, if he were to pull over a woman and get her to perform an act on him, a sexual act on him, would that woman be committing rape against a child?
idea. I have no idea.
Statutory rape?
I mean, I have no idea. She'd be doing it under duress. He'd actually be committing rape. That's a lesser offense. No, the answer to that is no. No.
All right.
Because if the young man had said that she has to accompany him and be a getaway driver in a crime where he's going to go and do a robbery or something like that, she would be coerced. Even though what she did was illegal, she would still be coerced. So the answer
you think
is
that would get her out of it?
I'm not as confident as Mark. I would say it depends on how stupid the people are in the state in which this occurred, and how good the lawyer is of the guy, the kid, if he would be able to argue that she raped him.
Indeed,
because I think that there are while slim, probably circumstances under which they both get charged ridiculous enough as that is.
Police do charge, say, for instance, young people who are sending sexy pictures to each other and that sort of thing as sexting.
They do, yeah.
They charge that, in which
they frequently will give them access to some sort of a program that they have to take rather than getting them a felony conviction for child pornography.
Which sounds best
Which
to
is
me.
usually what they come at them with is like, well, you're going to be a child porn felon for the rest of your life unless you agree to take this
our
program.
Deprogramming session.
To teach you how bad of an idea it is to sext somebody, basically, is the idea, even though it's apparently relatively common among young people.
It's
these
unwise. Days. I can tell you that. I mean, creating naked pictures of yourself if you're under the age of 18 is basically just creating a series of people who are guilty of child pornography. Please stop doing that.
So what happened to this guy? Was he charged?
The cops caught him.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and ultimately, he got thrown in jail.
Was he charged as an adult or charged as a
They're
child?
not specific on that one.
Yeah.
The next day, a sergeant spotted a Ford Explorer matching a description of the vehicle involved and conducted a traffic stop on it. Just stopped a Ford Explorer. After confirming the SUV was a match, the sergeant detained the 14-year-old. How in the world was a 14-year-old driving, period? Who was
it's not that hard to drive.
The great-grandson of the vehicle's
if he can reach the pedals, he can drive.
The vehicle's registered owner. He was identified as the suspect, and the search of his home led to the discovery of the uniform worn on Monday's incident, authorities said. And apparently his mother said she was curious on how he had acquired all the merchandise. You're 14. How do you even get the means for all that?
That's pretty impressive. I mean, I got to say, it's an impressive level of acuity and criminal activity. More coming up here, 8:55, 450, free like freedom. Hour 3's next.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Here is what one satisfied customer had to say about Heart and Body Extract regarding his angina pain.
I haven't had an angina pain since I've been on it. The Heart Body Extract is just so great. I thank God that I was led to this product that's doing so much for me and that can do so much for other people.
Call to order your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, July 24th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,226 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $25, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,257. Antiwar.com reports doubling down on President Trump's late-night Twitter rant threat to make Iran suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. National Security Advisor John Bolton says President Trump had spoken to him in recent days about his intention to take action. Bolton says Trump told him that the next time Iran does anything at all to the negative, they will pay a price like few countries have ever paid before. Bolton has been advocating U.S. wars against Iran for many years, and while neither Trump nor Bolton explicitly said that what was going to happen to Iran was a U.S. military attack, that was clearly meant to be the implication. Bolton in particular would almost certainly not seem so satisfied with the plan if it was something short of war. Most analysts are comparing President Trump's recent comments against Iran to last year's threats against North Korea, which preceded a diplomatic deal. Whether this is an attempt to replicate that in Iran or just a threat for its own sake remains to be seen. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com. UPI reports ride-hailing companies Uber and Lyft have suspended a St. Louis driver who live-streamed hundreds of passengers for months without their knowledge. The live streams revealed personal conversations of passengers on a Twitch web channel and comments made about the conversations and female passengers' bodies, a format similar to HBO's Taxi Cab Confessions from the late 1990s and early 2000s. The driver, Jason Gargak, told the St. Louis Dispatch he doesn't see anything wrong with broadcasting his rides to a web audience. The revelation, though, had provoked debate about privacy, ethics, and legality, even though an Uber spokesperson said the practice is not against the law in Missouri. Nonetheless, Uber and Lyft both suspended him after the Post-Dispatch first reported the story. A statement by Lyft said, "The safety and comfort of the Lyft community is our top priority, and we have deactivated this driver." Gargak's livestream channel was also removed from Twitch. Twitch said in a statement to UPI, "In terms of this particular person, we do not comment on terms of service violations in regard to specific individuals." Before his channel was taken down, Gargak had earned about $3,500 from Twitch users since March. He also said he primarily used the streams, which were archived on his channel for 60 days for security reasons. He emphasized that he added a 4-inch square sticker on the rear passenger window that read, "Notice, for security, this vehicle is equipped with audio and visual recording devices. Consent given by entering vehicle." Passengers contacted by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said they did not see the sticker. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the family of an Australian woman shot dead by Minneapolis police last year after calling to report a suspected crime near her home sued the city and several officers on Monday, saying they violated her civil rights. The fatal July 2017 shooting of 40-year-old life coach Justine Ruzick-Damond sparked international outrage amid a wave of U.S. police shootings that fueled a debate over the use of force by law enforcement. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor was charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter for shooting Damond through the door of his patrol car as she approached him after calling police to say she thought she heard a woman being raped. Noor was fired the day the charges were filed and is free on $400,000 bail. The civil suit, filed in federal district court in Minnesota, names Noor and his partner Matthew Harity and accuses them of conspiring to conceal the facts around the shooting and failing to record the incident on their body cameras. The suit also referenced their ages. Noor was 32, Harity was 25, and called them inexperienced officers who appear by their conduct unfit for duty. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following reports that local full-blown alcoholic Ken Matheson has such great friends that let him drink himself to death right before their eyes, the 32-year-old man spoke to reporters during a typical evening of binging with his closest friends.
Man, these guys are like brothers to me. I don't know what I'd do without them.
The chemically dependent man, who can reportedly always count on his friends to look the other way, facilitate belligerent behavior, and encourage his self-destructive impulses, informed reporters that the members of his tight-knit circle are, quote, the best buddies a guy could ask for.
Can you just shut the fuck up? Seriously. Just shut the fuck up. I lost them. Back down. Keep going. What the fuck are you looking at? I love you, man. I love you.
Check this week's Onion Review for further developments.
I love you. Oh, God, I love everybody.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. Our Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Tonight in the studio, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
So, Johnson, you had a story that you wanted to share with us about copyright.
That's right.
Intellectual property, which we've actually already touched on intellectual property earlier in the show, and I said I don't believe in it. So, feel free, grab the show, copy it, redistribute it. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, this article is about copyright's true purpose being dead because it never existed.
The purpose never existed, or copyright never existed?
The purpose of copyright.
Okay. Purportedly, the purpose of copyright is to protect intellectual creators from other people stealing their ideas for a period of time that will allow them to profit from their original concepts.
Well, according to the U.S. Constitution, copyrights exist to promote the progress of science and useful arts.
Okay.
I think that's what people imagine it's about.
Yeah. It's meant to facilitate and encourage artists. By the way, this article is from torrentfreak.com. Is meant to facilitate and encourage artists to create content which the public can enjoy. But is this how copyright still functions today? Texan A&M law professor Glyn Lunny Jr. doesn't think so. We're all familiar with the statement that piracy is killing the music industry. It's one of the main arguments used to argue in favor of stronger copyright enforcement and legislation. The underlying idea is that strong copyright protection ensures that artists get paid. More money then opens the door to more artistic creations.
That's the claim.
But is that really the case? Glyn Lunny Jr., a law professor at Texas A&M University, has his doubts. When the first wave of widespread online piracy hit in the late 90s, copyright holders called for stronger protections. This eventually resulted in the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, commonly known under the acronym DMCA, which was passed nearly 20 years ago. At the time, Professor Lunny declared that this would be the death of copyright. The DMCA would mainly serve the interests of the large monopolies, not the independent creators he envisioned. This would kill the true purpose of copyright, which is the progress of arts and science, as defined by the Constitution. In a new follow-up essay, Lunny looks back at his earlier predictions with fresh evidence. As it turns out, he was wrong. The DMCA did little to stop the piracy epidemic, but while music industry revenues tanked, there was still plenty of creative output. The professor doesn't retract his early criticism of the DMCA, but he now sees that copyright never really served to promote the public interest. In an ideal world, more money should lead to more creative output. But according to the data presented in Lunny's new essay, the reality is quite different. Instead, it suggests that more money leads to less creative output. Relying on music sales data dating back to the 50s, adjusted for inflation, and comparing that to a database of most streamed tracks on Spotify in 2014, the professor reveals an interesting trend. There is no greater preference for music created in the high revenue periods. On the contrary, in fact. This is backed up by other data presented in Lunny's book, Copyright Success, which also fails to find evidence that more money means better music. There is no evidence that more money meant more or better music.
Nope, I wouldn't think it would.
Yeah. To the contrary, when I
think more money means better movies.
Maybe. It says, to the contrary, when I found a statistically significant correlation, I found that more money meant fewer and lower quality hit songs, the professor writes. The question is, of course, why? According to the professor, it's simple. Overpaid artists don't work harder, they work less. These misdirected and excess incentives ensure that our most popular artists are vastly overpaid. By providing these excess incentives, copyright encourages our superstar artists to work less, Lunny writes. This suggests
put out an album whenever they feel like it.
Right, exactly. This suggests that more money for the music industry means less music, which is the opposite of the true purpose of copyright, to facilitate the progress of arts and science. It's a
purportedly, but of course, as we've seen with some restrictions on fan films that some companies, some will allow, others won't. Others will allow with very specific restrictions. Like there's the Star Trek. They came out with Paramount came out with a set of rules that you had to use officially licensed uniforms of the Star Trek characters in order to be able to make a fan film. And there's just all kinds of rules that they put into place.
Restrictions on where or how they can advertise it.
All kinds. I mean, there was a whole laundry list of stuff. But
they're lucky to be able to make fan films at all. I bet Disney doesn't let you make a Star Wars fan film.
I know that fan productions on Nintendo games have been shut down by Nintendo. Fans have taken old Nintendo games and re-released them and, made them more modern feeling.
Nintendo's vicious about that.
Yeah, they really have cracked down. They took, it was The Legend of Zelda, one of the most popular Nintendo games of all time, of history in, the 1980s. For the original NES. It was, I think, the 30th anniversary of that game, so this was a few years ago now, that somebody came out with a real tribute, like a Flash version or whatever, like an internet version of this that looked better. It had been improved upon in every single way.
They spruced up Link.
Yeah. They spruced up the whole thing and really did an amazing job. And Nintendo,
I just wanted to show I knew who the main character was. It wasn't named Zelda.
Right. And Nintendo came down on that like a ton of bricks and forced these people to take it down. And it was just a tribute. They weren't making any money on it. They weren't charging anything for it. They just loved the game so much they poured their own time and effort into making it better.
Nothing will ever beat the daycare center in Orlando, Florida, near Orlando, Florida, that had a Mickey Mouse montage on the wall on the interior of the daycare center.
Ooh, yeah, and they came at them.
When Disney found out, they came at him over copyright violations, and then Hanna-Barbera found out about the story and came and painted all their characters on the wall. Like, they came there and painted them.
Artists.
Yeah, the actual artists put up Huckleberry Hound and I don't remember what
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah, and then whatever that Pink Panther thing was that said, stage right even.
Pink Panther wasn't Hanna-Barbera.
It wasn't Pink Panther. It was a Pink Panther-like character.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember that one. I know the one you exit stage right even. It was like
the one was called Smedley who had
yes, Smedley Butler. No, not Smedley Butler. That's the military guy. Snidely Whiplash is I think who you're thinking of.
I know who he's talking about.
And
but
Muttley.
Anyway. Muttley, yeah.
I don't know.
Was that Hanna-Barbera though?
I think so.
Okay. Moving on.
I don't know who else it would be. Anyway, the controversial thought that more money for the music industry means less music relies on quite a few assumptions. For example, looking beyond the big stars, more money can also mean that more artists get paid properly, so they can make a decent living and dedicate more time to their music. Also, even in the lower revenue periods, when music piracy is at its height, the top artists still make millions. The professor, however, is convinced by the data that he sees. According to the above, he shows that during the high revenue periods, the top artists made fewer albums, while they produced more albums and hits during the tough times.
Because they were busy doing drugs and hookers.
As a result, when revenues were
Don't forget the record companies take huge chunks as well of all these revenues. They're making more than the artists.
Right, and it's not
much more.
It's not that I don't fault anyone for making money on their work.
It's the dream of most musicians, right, to actually make it big.
But if you want great artists to produce more great works, then a copyright isn't going to be the thing that solves that problem. That is not the thing that's going to... Like, maybe you think it's right, just, good, and pure, but please don't use the excuse that it has anything to do with creating more great works of art.
I want to bring Dodger in here. He's calling us from the palm of the mitten in Michigan, listening online. Go ahead, Dodger.
I just want to bring the perspective. First off, just a little piece of trivia. Do you guys know what people in the UP call people from the Lower Peninsula of Michigan?
No.
Dupers?
We're trolls. We're trolls. We live under the bridge.
Under the bridge.
Of course, referring to the Mackinac Bridge.
All right, stand by, Dodger. I'm going to bring you back here. I know you wanted to talk about the copyright issue, so we're going to bring you back, and your calls are certainly welcome as well. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Turns out copyright's actually hurting creative output, according to the numbers, according to the study here that Johnson is citing, as we'll continue. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. If you want to join us. Also, Skype username is LRN.FM. This is Free Talk Live. Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.Global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.Global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.Global. That's AnyPay.Global.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. And the official Zencash wallet is available on Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com, zencash.com.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information, so pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
You can't win if you don't enter, and you actually can improve your chances of winning a prize drawing if you wrinkle up your entry blank. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com, and I speak from experience. Why this works: if they'll be spinning the drum before drawing, your entry blank will move around more than, and not adhere to, other perfectly flat entry blanks. And if they don't spin the drum and merely reach into a box full of other perfectly flat entry blanks, many of which are sticking together, yours will feel different to the person reaching in. When you win, act surprised. And if you're looking for work, this is a metaphor. For more tips on sticking out in a world where just too much blends into the blah, 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 hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, and bring up whatever's on your mind here. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. We've got also the Discord on-air call-in line room over at discord.lrn.fm, which I've now had to restrict to where the toxic users cannot join the Discord room because Luke, the guy who called earlier, continued to occupy the room. And the way we have that room set up is it's a one-person room. So if one person's in there, nobody else can join. And the reason why we had to do that was because more than one person was joining the room, and that gets confusing because, you know, we really only want to have one person at a time on the conversation. The reason is because if people have different microphone levels on their side, it doesn't sound good for radio to let more than one person in there. So anyway, because he wanted to do what he called a sit-in in the room, we've now had to restrict that. But for those who aren't considered the toxic users on the chat system, of which we only have 2. The chat system's been around for 6 months now, so we only have 2 toxic users. Everybody else, welcome to join. Welcome to use the Discord on-air call-in line room to join the discussion here.
Blink home security system. I have mine. I think it's great. It's really easy to set up. I've had to set it up twice now because I got it and then I moved, and so I had to set it up again. It's fast, easy. If I can do it, it is easy. There's really no wires to deal with. You just kind of set the cameras up. You can just set them down on top of a table or a counter or something like that if you want to move it around or whatever. Or you can screw it into the wall. It's got a little wood screw that comes with it. Makes it very easy. And if there's movement, if there's motion in front of this thing, at the times that you set it to go off and on. I mean, you don't want it you don't want it in your living room when you're at home in the evening, but you may want it in your living room when you're in bed at night so that you can get an update if something is moving around in your living room. Well, that makes it very simple to use. You just go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. And by the way, many home security systems, they cost a lot of money and there's subscriptions and all kinds of things like that. Not so with blinkprotect.com/FTL. You go there. I think their lowest, I was just there the other day, but I think it was yesterday on the air, but their lowest package was somewhere near $100 for just one cam. And with our link, you get 15% off. So blinkprotect.com/FTL will get you, yep, there it is, $84.15 for the smallest package. You can cover your apartment front door with that, and just a bit more for 2, and obviously more as you get more cameras. The more you get, the more it's going to cost. But that's it. There isn't a subscription. You just get their app, and they take care of it from there. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Let's go back to Dodger. He's calling from the palm of the mitten in Michigan. Dodger, your comments. We've been talking about copyright, and Johnson's got some interesting statistics, a study, a professor who's saying that it looks like, from the numbers, there's evidence to say that copyright has actually harmed productive output, has harmed creative output.
It seems to have in the pharmaceutical industry. You can see that companies now take the same drug, basically change it a little bit, and then trot it out as the new thing. And that's not innovation.
They were looking at that's more patenting than what they're talking about here, but it is still intellectual property.
Copyright was intended to promote the arts and sciences.
Yeah.
So,
and patents were purported to protect
and it's
inventors.
all intellectual property.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dodger.
Well, I'm speaking as somebody, a libertarian and somebody that has been very, very much into music most of my, from a teenager and on. And I'm pretty sure that all of you remember, I was a teenager at the time, but the Napster thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things is I lost a lot of respect for one of my favorite bands.
Metallica? Was it Metallica?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
Me too.
I'm a metalhead.
Yeah. Back when for our listeners that don't know, Napster was one of the first kind of noteworthy, newsworthy file sharing platforms out there. It was in the early 2000s, I think.
CEO Sean Parker.
Whoever that was. But Metallica, they came out hard against Napster. And they were very upset at people sharing their music, sharing their albums, and it was embarrassing for them.
And the other thing
I think
is
they lost a lot of fans.
This is just innovation, right? Like, people want to hear music that they want to hear.
Back in the day, the Grateful Dead encouraged people recording bootlegs of their albums and distributing it,
The Dead Kennedys did too.
Yeah.
But I mean, people want to hear the music they want to hear. They're listening for free on the radio. You've built into them this notion of listening for free. Listening, by the way, hearing advertisements doesn't feel like, especially if you're not, frequenting the advertisers, it doesn't feel like you're paying.
Right.
So
you can always change the channel.
Yes, the people that were getting played on the radio were getting a royalty, but that doesn't really change anything. Ultimately, people want they want to hear the music they want to hear. They want to hear it for as little as possible. Yeah, they want it the way they want it. And so what bands needed to do was basically what iTunes did, was sell one song for $1 and make it easier to get that song than it was to use Napster. Because I used Napster, and it wasn't that easy to use.
Dodger?
Well, going on, being somebody that is so, into my music, I can tell you, it seems to me as if a lot of these bands put out their best stuff before they make it big, and then it's like they make it big. I can't think of really a good album, for example, that Metallica's put out after the Black Album.
Sure.
And it just seems as if the money just kind of gets to their head. And,
well, this is the age-old complaint, right?
There's a term for it. It's called a sellout.
Right. Right. It's the age-old complaint when it comes to music fans is whenever the band gets too big, then they lose their way and they lose their sound. And
that could be, though, that the music fans just don't. They just want something. They're looking for the new next thing, and now they're just turning on their old band. I don't know.
Or
I can say that Enter Sandman was a great song, and that came out after Metallica got big.
No, that was their big. That was their big one. That was that album was their biggest album.
I'd certainly heard of them.
No doubt. I mean, they had a career before the Black Album, but I agree with what he said.
Was that the Black Album? I don't know the name of the album.
Right. That's kind of the common belief among Metallica fans is that the Black Album was their last great album, and that was their sort of the pinnacle.
I frankly didn't know that there was an album after the Black Album.
There have been, I believe, several.
I can tell you there are plenty of bands out there that once they become big, but I can tell you that they release like free content out there to their fans and stuff like that. A lot of them still do it for the music. They may get big, but it's not like you can't put a broad brush stroke on this and say that any band that ever becomes big.
No, that's true. And also, there's another viewpoint.
Putting out good.
Sure, and there's also another viewpoint to this idea that, well, once they get too big, they become, lazy or corrupted, or they suck, or they go in different directions that don't please the fans. The other complaint would be to complain about the fan, because the fans some of them want to hear the same kind of music throughout the entire history, and they get upset when
why does Metallica always sound like Garage Days?
And they get upset when the band tries something experimental. And when would they try something experimental? When they've made enough money to where they feel like they can try something experimental. So
listen to Prince from Little Red Corvette.
That experimental stuff is amazing.
Yeah, and here's what I wanted to add to that. There is redemption here for Metallica, because in recent years there was some album that they came out with. I don't know what it was, but they came out with it online. They released every single song. Every one of them had a music video, and they put them all out there for free. So it's like they finally figured it out. It took them a couple decades, but they finally embraced, hey, let's do this free release thing for our fans and see how that works. And it rocked.
This is Jessica Armand, founder of My Magic Mud. Our team helped organize a successful effort to remove fluoride from our city's water supply. This is our passion. My Magic Mud Oral Care purifies and brightens your smile naturally. GCN listeners, please support my family business by purchasing our products from your local health food store. We're also available at CVS Pharmacy, or visit us at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off now with coupon code GCN10.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
There's going to be no food by February.
Oh, that seems a little extreme. I find that hard to believe.
Well, watch it happen. Hope you find Christ.
Oh, good luck, buddy. Thanks.
What really turned me away from religion was the fact that most of them are so intolerant and nasty.
What do you mean?
Your life will suck unless you find Jesus. Well, I had Jesus a long time ago, and he didn't really do anything for me, so I got away from that.
Right, and I can tell you that if you want to have that attitude with people, like,
Good
well,
luck
you better find Christ, or you're going to burn in hell.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Good luck converting people.
Yeah, I really want to hang out with people like you, there, Keith. I really want to hang out with people like you. So I'm sorry to those good Christians out there listening that aren't like Keith. But it's the loudmouths like Keith that do real damage to your religion and how people feel about it.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here to bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. There's also the Discord on-air call-in line room And with you here in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
I do want you to know about a handy little tool that if you can use if you like cryptocurrency, if you are a cryptocurrency advocate, you want to help spread crypto, go to cryptotip.org. I was told by Roger Paxton that he nominated or I guess gave CryptoTip the nod as this week's, I think he called it ANCAP tool or something like that. Anyway, he was really impressed with the CryptoTip. And you can go and try it for yourself. You can print out as many of these business card size paper printable tips as you like. You decide how much crypto to put on them. So you decide the amount. You decide how many you want to print. You send the crypto to the site. You get access to a printable page. You cut them out. Use scissors or paper cutter or whatever. Load them up in your wallet or your purse, and then when you go out to eat or at a place where you might tip somebody, tip them with cash. Give a good cash tip. If you got good service, give a good cash tip, and then on top of that, you leave a crypto tip. Let them explore the world of cryptocurrency. It's very, very cool, and you can go there and print out as many as you want. Cryptotip.org. Right now, it's in beta. It's Dash only at the moment. We may be adding more cryptos to it very soon. I don't know if it's very soon, but soon at some point. Cryptotip.org. Check it out there as we continue with your phone calls and thoughts. Matthew's on the line in Louisiana. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Matthew.
Good evening, guys.
Hi there.
So this morning I was listening to USA Radio News in the morning, and they were reporting that the intelligence community says that the Russians are hacking into our power grid and causing brownouts. And I thought to myself, oh my God, the 1950s are calling. They want their Red Scare back.
Okay.
So everything that goes wrong from now on, you can just blame it on the Russians. Apparently, the intelligence community will believe you.
Well, I suppose the intelligence community probably wants you to believe that. I mean, considering that, if the intelligence community is collecting all of people's data and metadata as the news shows, it shouldn't be very difficult at all for them to trot out whatever evidence there is against the Russians. Like, let's just
The only reason
and
you
Donald
think
Trump
that is because of the Russians.
Yeah, and Donald Trump, right? Like, let's just go ahead, go to the NSA's. This isn't hard. We don't need some kind of big investigator. Go to the NSA's big, giant refrigerator unit in Utah and get his cell phone info and find out if he's chit-chatting with Russians. Bammo whammo,
Yeah, somehow or the other, I have a feeling if they had that kind of a smoking gun, we would have seen it by now. But it reminds me of that song by the Kinks. You remember Paranoia, the Destroyer?
No.
Mark, you would be the most likely to remember that.
Not I.
Well, this is my version, and this is with all apologies to the Kinks, and I cannot sing, so please bear with me. There's a Russian under my bed. There's a Russian in Donald Trump's head. Paranoia will destroy you. That's all I got.
That part I remember. The paranoia will destroy you. But did they mention Donald Trump in the?
No, that's his new version.
Okay.
No, they don't. This is a parody. This is only a parody. For God's sakes, whoever owns those copyrights, don't sue me. Ciao.
Thanks, Matthew, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Let's continue here. Otis is on the line in New York on our Discord on-air call-in line room. Go ahead, Otis.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing tonight?
We're doing a radio show. What's on your mind?
Doing?
What's on your mind tonight?
Listen, I blew out my voice today, so I can't say too much. But I just want to thank you for putting the shirt on. I appreciate that. I think probably the real reason you put the shirt on is because Mark's there. Mark lays down the law. He doesn't mess around.
No. That's not it at all.
Absolutely. What shirt are we talking about?
He's talking about me. I mean, there's nobody who's more obsessed with my clothing choices than Otis in New York. It's really an honor.
Well, if you're going to be on a video, Otis, you're absolutely right. If a man's going to make a living in part by being on video, he needs to change his shirt every day.
No, Mark, he wasn't wearing a shirt the last couple of days.
Right, there's been a few shows.
I know you got them window AC units down there in York, but up here, we don't got those things. They're too fancy up here in New Hampshire. We don't use these window air conditioners too much, so it gets hot inside.
That's really great.
Well, what are you going to do, right?
What are you going to do? Forget about it.
I don't know. Forget about it.
Hey, what about that guy that said Donald Trump, Russia? What is he talking about?
I don't know. There are allegations that Trump did golden showers with Russian prostitutes.
Oh, well, not even that. I mean, it's pretty obvious the Russians hacked our elections. I mean, come on.
They hacked DNC computers, and that shows to be a security breach.
You just go on Twitter, and you can find 3,000 examples of fake people posting all kinds of crap on Twitter.
So what? I mean,
hell, I was getting paid $5 an hour to post all kinds of wacky stuff on Twitter.
How do you get those gigs?
Like
is that Fiverr? Wait, is that like Fiverr.com? How do you get that?
Well, you just start posting whatever you want on Twitter, and people go berserk over it. You get hashtags trending and
but how do you get paid? You were saying you were getting paid to do it.
Well, yeah, my grandmother was a big Trump fan, so she was paying me, $5 to go out and spread some good news.
Is your grandmother dating Soros or something? Like,
well, no, she loves Trump. I got her the hat and everything, She $5 a tweet, whatever.
Can you post a picture of your grandma wearing a MAGA hat in our Discord chat? Because I'd love that. That'd be hilarious.
I don't have a picture of her wearing it. I only got my grandfather wearing it.
I see. All right. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Otis.
The hat messes up her hair. She's, she can't be messing up her hair.
Yeah, you know how women are about that. That's
especially older women when it comes to getting their hair set.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gotta get
it's
it right.
a big deal. My mother goes to the hairdresser once a week because, the hairdresser washes her hair. That's the only time it gets washed. I mean, this it's a whole different lifestyle around this getting your hair set thing.
What are those ladies that wear purple and then they wear the red hats? It's like the Red Hat Society.
What are those? Red Hat Society, that's what it is.
You get them some purple.
All right, take it easy,
Thanks,
Charlie.
Otis. Otis is done with us.
Some purple MAGA t-shirts and some red MAGA hats, and you'd have the whole new meaning to that society.
We go to David in New Mexico on Skype. Hello, David.
Hey, you were talking last hour about the 14-year-old cop wannabe imposter kind of thing.
Yeah, a 14-year-old apparently stole an SUV or borrowed. I'm not sure if it was a family member's or what.
Well, I mean, borrowed or stole a family member's SUV.
It was a family member.
That he had outfitted with cop flashing lights on.
Yeah, and proceeded to act as though he were
people over.
Managed to acquire
no
a costume.
one really seems to know why this occurred yet.
He managed to acquire a costume that was reminiscent of the sheriff's department. Go ahead with your thoughts on that.
Well, I had an experience that might be helpful or at least interesting. There was one night when I had an uneasy feeling about pulling over on a piece of interstate where I was when the cop was pulling me over, and I was right by the exit ramp or right by an exit ramp, and I knew that about a mile and a half, 2 miles down the road there was a lighted, populated place.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had an uneasy feeling. I had multiple run-ins with the cops where they did illegal arrests and various different things where they were literally violating my civil rights. And
they don't care about that, but okay.
It's true. They don't care about that. But so anyway, he pulled me over right by this exit. So I continued down the exit ramp, which was still pretty normal, and I made a turn, and then it's all dark for, like I said, for about a mile and a half, 2 miles to the first place.
This is hard to do.
That's a long, long way to not pull over for a police officer.
Right. This is a hard thing to pull off. Go ahead.
So what I did is I immediately got on the phone and called 911 and got the dispatcher, and I told her what was up, that I wanted to exercise my right. Oh, and prior to this date, there had been an actual cop that had sexually assaulted a woman that he had pulled over, and there was also an imposter, a dude that wasn't being an imposter of a cop that had pulled people over.
I would suggest that anyone attempting to do this, do it at
it's taking their lives in their own hands.
Within the speed limit. If you're going to do it within the speed limit.
Put on your hazards, too.
And put on your hazards, yeah, for sure.
This is a smart move, though, to call the police department to let them know you're being pulled over, but you don't feel comfortable in this spot. Hold on, David. We'll let you continue here in moments with the story. If you can, if you're in an area in which you can get a cell phone signal, of course, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, because if you don't pull over for these psychos, you never know what they're going to do. Some of them start to get really mad about it.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up here, it's Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
If you or anyone you love has been diagnosed with lung cancer, asbestosis, or mesothelioma, your diagnosis may be the result of job-related exposure to asbestos, and you may be entitled to compensation. Over $30 billion in trusts have been set aside for individuals who have been affected by asbestos exposure. How do you protect your rights and get the compensation you deserve? Call Capital Legal Group now at 800-400-LUNG. Capital Legal Group is one of the nation's resources for settlement of lung cancer and mesothelioma cases. Law firms have successfully recovered over $2.7 billion for their clients in all 50 states, and claims have been paid in as little as 60 days. If you or a family member were diagnosed with lung cancer, asbestosis, or mesothelioma, call Capital Legal Group now at 800-400-LUNG. We'll open a no-cost case review on your behalf. A history of tobacco use or cigarette smoking will not disqualify your case. Visit 800-400-LUNG.com or call 800-400-LUNG. Call 800-400-5864 now. That's 800-400-LUNG.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget it.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free, bring up whatever you want to talk about here. The number 855-450, free like freedom. 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM, and with you here in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Hey, don't forget our Discord on-air call-in line room. You can go to discord.lrn.fm. You can jump in there, and you can talk about whatever you want with our other listeners, some of whom are libertarians, some of whom aren't. It's an open forum for chat, and it's free, and it's there around the clock. Discord.lrn.fm. We were talking with David in New Mexico, who was talking about kind of police, people who are impersonating the police, and the fear that some people, I think, legitimately have when, I mean, it's one thing you're getting pulled over by an actual cop who might beat you within an inch of your life, and then there's also the concern that you might be getting pulled over by somebody who's not a cop who might do who knows what to you. So, David, you were telling us a story about when you were getting pulled over in an area in which, had you pulled over immediately, you would have been alone with this person who you weren't sure if it was an actual cop. So you dialed up 911 and connected to a dispatcher and continued driving onto an area that you said was at least a mile or so away that you knew would be more populated, would be like a lighted parking lot, potentially some people around to witness. Tell us more about that situation, please.
Yeah, I knew there was a 24-hour gas station there would be people looking right up the window watching the whole thing, and it would be all lit up. And there was literally nothing else that was lighted or populated between there. And remember, this whole 2 miles, remember that this guy on my tail was able to clearly see my license plate and get all kinds of information about me. And I was driving in a nice, normal manner. And I was on the phone with the dispatcher, and she was trying to find this guy and having a problem doing it. I find out later in the news after the fact that the Albuquerque Police Department and the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department that work the same territory, the dispatcher, their systems were not in this half century into the space age that we are. Their communication system were such that there was not a real good connection between what the sheriffs were doing and what APD was doing. And when you called and got a dispatcher, I happened to get the one that worked for APD, and she basically was incommunicado with the sheriff's department, and that's who was on my tail. And so I get down, I get to that gas station, and I pull in the parking lot. And just as I pull in the parking lot, the cavalry arrives. From every direction comes a sheriff's department unit, and they surround me and jump out of their cars. There's like 4 of them, and they all pull their guns out and point them at me. And
at a guy who just pulled over.
Right. He didn't obey fast enough, Mark.
Right. That's what it seems to come down to.
Yeah. Let's also remember that it's official policy that if some young woman feels in jeopardy, that she has the right to do exactly what I was doing.
That's true.
And
you speak the truth.
And of course, as a male, I don't count, but young women have the right to do this and are encouraged to do that if they feel uneasy.
Well, departments will often say things like this when right after there's been an incident of a police officer demanding a beej for pulling some gal over or whatever.
Right. So they're pointing their guns at me, and I'm still sitting in the vehicle, and they're yelling at me, get out of the vehicle, and I yell back at them, I'm on the phone with your dispatcher. They're trying to get a hold of you. And so they yell at me, get out again. So I get out, and I'm standing there on the phone, and they go, get down on the ground, lay down on the ground.
And they had drawn guns out on you?
Yeah, they were pointing guns at me.
Getting on the ground might have been a good idea.
That's scary.
Yeah, well, so I did. I told him one more time, I'm on the phone with your dispatcher, and as I was getting down on the ground, and I laid down on my back because they didn't tell me to lay on my stomach, so at least I could see when they were coming at me, who was coming from what direction. And so of course when they got to me, since I chose to lay on my back face up, they violently threw me over onto my stomach. Ugh. And then they kicked the phone out of my hand. I watched the phone slide across the pavement, literally about 75 feet.
It could have been a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to think it's a gun. That's what one cop actually yelled at somebody holding a phone.
The dude said that to me. After the fact, one of the deputies said to me, he said that phone you were handing, it looked like a gun. he said it looked like a lot like a gun. It's like, yeah, really, I'm yelling at you. I'm on the phone with your dispatcher, and we're in a lighted gas station.
Right. I'm going to hold a gun to my head while I'm yelling into it because it's a gun.
Holding a gun to my head, yeah. And so anyway, after they cuffed me, threw me in the car, they called the dispatcher and found out that I was totally I was way more straight than what they were, and they apologized to me.
They apologized?
Yeah, well, yeah, in a way. Well, their apology, the main dude, the guy in charge, was what he said to me is after he confirmed my story, he said, let's uncuff you and get you out of here.
Well, that's
not an apology.
It's not an apology. It's better than nothing.
Usually, it's very hard to get apologies from the police. That's why I was surprised when you said it was an apology, because almost always they have no reason to apologize because it doesn't benefit them. in any way, shape, or form. It's, of course, the right thing to do, but they don't have to do the right thing. They get paid regardless. Hey, David, thanks for calling and sharing the story tonight. As we continue, Sarah is in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes, so we're building a brand new hawk light in front of the Cleveland Middle School.
A what? You've gotten a job?
No, hawk light. You know
no.
I'm
sorry. I thought you said you were building something.
No, I was not. No, I know that I
She
was
did say that.
pushing
She
for
said
them
we
to
are
build
building.
A hawk
Yeah.
light.
Okay. So you're not building anything.
Hawk? What is the word?
Yeah, hawk light. It's a high-intensity walk signal light. So the 12-year-old girl was killed like 3 months ago, and they collected 3,500 signatures. So they were supposed to do a study, and you know what? These studies usually last about 5 years, and then by then they probably figure that people will forget about it, but they are actually building it. So
A hawk beacon, according to Wikipedia, is a high-intensity activated crosswalk beacon. So the H comes from high, A comes from activated, WK comes from walk. So it's a strange acronym.
The way she pronounced it, she said high-intensity walk signal, and I was just picturing somebody really needs Chinese food, and they beam it
what's
into
it
the
do?
sky.
So it's high intensity. What's it do? Like it flashes when you're going to walk in between?
It says here is a traffic control device used to stop road traffic and allow pedestrians to cross safely. It is officially known as a pedestrian hybrid beacon. The purpose of the Hawk beacon is to allow protected pedestrian crossings, stop road traffic only as needed. I think we have things like this in Keene. If you get into downtown Keene, there are certain sort of lighted
If you
things.
walk through them, then they begin to strobe, letting cars know, hey, there's somebody who's just walked out in the middle of the road.
It says here a Hawk beacon is used only for marked crosswalks. So
Honestly, there's some bike trails in Keene that could use these.
Well, the thing is, they were having an event, like a performance at 7 o'clock, and she was using that clock. That's when she was killed.
Yeah, this
So
is
I
for
think
all the
during
people
the
who
day-
are too out of it to actually pay attention to their surroundings. And it's hard to really, I mean, it's terrible. That
How fast was the car going? I mean, I feel like I can look both ways when I cross the street and handle cars that
a
are...
12-year-old also should be able to look both ways by the time they hit that age. I mean,
I'm not saying the kid deserved it.
No, I'm not
but
saying that either.
That's how that's how you should look at the road as though there are 2-ton death machines
it's a
flying
deadly
along
place.
at 30 to 50 miles an hour.
Right. Some beacon
Well,
isn't
I'm
going to
saying that
save necessarily somebody's not paying attention. Because if the person who's crossing the road isn't paying attention and the driver isn't paying attention, you've got a recipe for disaster.
And the pedestrian will lose.
Thank you for the call tonight, Sarah. The again, toll-free number here if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Was there more? There was probably more to the copyright story, but...
A little bit.
Do you want to share anything? 'Cause
Sure,
we have
yeah,
a little bit of time.
try. So they were saying here that...
money did not help production of creative works.
Yeah, it's saying, in contrast, when revenues were low in both the 1960s, before the sound recording copyright, and the post-file sharing in the 2000s, our top artists produced more studio albums and more top 100 hits. Among other things, the data show that the most prolific artists in the study, the Beatles and Taylor Swift, had their first Hot 100 hits in 1964 and 2006, respectively. Both were low-revenue years. It's a thought-provoking essay which undoubtedly will be covered.
Now,
countered.
correlation isn't causation,
Right.
but it's still interesting to look at.
It basically goes on to say here, copyright is dead. The DMCA did not, however, kill it. Copyright in the sense of a law intended to promote the public interest never existed at all. It was only a dream. Ironically, major copyright groups are increasingly complaining that outdated law is not fit to tackle the ongoing piracy problem. Instead, they see the DMCA's safe harbor as a major roadblock which allows services such as YouTube to profit from piracy.
Piracy ain't going away. Sharing isn't going away.
Right.
They just need to come up with creative ways to create revenue, whether it be live performance or merchandising or whatever. Clubs.
Copyright is just overcomplicated nonsense to benefit lawyers and copyright thieves.
freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, July 24th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,226 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $25, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,257. Antiwar.com reports doubling down on President Trump's late-night Twitter rant threat to make Iran suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. National Security Advisor John Bolton says President Trump had spoken to him in recent days about his intention to take action. Bolton says Trump told him that the next time Iran does anything at all to the negative, they will pay a price like few countries have ever paid before. Bolton has been advocating U.S. wars against Iran for many years, and while neither Trump nor Bolton explicitly said that what was going to happen to Iran was a U.S. military attack, that was clearly meant to be the implication. Bolton in particular would almost certainly not seem so satisfied with the plan if it was something short of war. Most analysts are comparing President Trump's recent comments against Iran to last year's threats against North Korea, which preceded a diplomatic deal. Whether this is an attempt to replicate that in Iran or just a threat for its own sake remains to be seen. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports ride-hailing companies Uber and Lyft have suspended a St. Louis driver who live-streamed hundreds of passengers for months without their knowledge. The live streams revealed personal conversations of passengers on a Twitch web channel and comments made about the conversations and female passengers' bodies, a format similar to HBO's Taxi Cab Confessions from the late 1990s and early 2000s. The driver, Jason Gorgak, told the St. Louis Dispatch he doesn't see anything wrong with broadcasting his rides to a web audience. The revelation, though, had provoked debate about privacy, ethics, and legality, even though an Uber spokesperson said the practice is not against the law in Missouri. Nonetheless, Uber and Lyft both suspended him after the Post-Dispatch first reported the story. A statement by Lyft said, "The safety and comfort of the Lyft community is our top priority, and we have deactivated this driver." Gorgak's livestream channel was also removed from Twitch. Twitch said in a statement to UPI, "In terms of this particular person, we do not comment on terms of service violations in regard to specific individuals. Before his channel was taken down, Gargak had earned about $3,500 from Twitch users since March. He also said he primarily used the streams, which were archived on his channel for 60 days for security reasons. He emphasized that he added a 4-inch square sticker on the rear passenger window that read, "Notice, for security, this vehicle is equipped with audio and visual recording devices. Consent given by entering vehicle." Passengers contacted by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said they did not see the sticker. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the family of an Australian woman shot dead by Minneapolis police last year after calling to report a suspected crime near her home sued the city and several officers on Monday, saying they violated her civil rights. The fatal July 2017 shooting of 40-year-old life coach Justine Ruzick-Damond sparked international outrage amid a wave of U.S. police shootings that fueled a debate over the use of force by law enforcement. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor was charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter for shooting Damond through the door of his patrol car as she approached him after calling police to say she thought she heard a woman being raped. Noor was fired the day the charges were filed and is free on $400,000 bail. The civil suit, filed in federal district court in Minnesota, names Noor and his partner Matthew Harity and accuses them of conspiring to conceal the facts around the shooting and failing to record the incident on their body cameras. The suit also referenced their ages. Noor was 32, Harity was 25, and called them inexperienced officers who appear by their conduct unfit for duty. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Despite being objectively awful people, newly engaged couple Ross Bird and Jessica Black want their upcoming wedding to really reflect their personalities.
We're pulling out all the stops to have a kind of wedding that just screams us. Yeah. We're going to have a bluegrass band playing 80s pop songs. Because Ross loves bluegrass, but I love 80s music.
And then at the end of the ceremony, this is great, we're going to pass out sparklers to all the guests.
Sources claim that a bunch of candles in mason jars and an Instagram photo booth will truly capture the essence of the insufferable pair.
We didn't want some big, stuffy ceremony.
Yeah,
it should feel more like a fun dance party for our friends.
Because the night's about us, yes, but I mean, it's also, about the people who make us, us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And those people love us exactly for our uniqueness.
Sources hoped with every fiber of their being that these two would be divorced within a year.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here!